What do you want from me? It's the Geeky Gamer Podcast with the host Ken and Bill. Please do your freaking best to sponsor our Patreon at Geeky Gamer Podcast. We also have a coffee spelled Kofi.
I'm drinking coffee right now, Ken.
Yeah, good. Coffee's good for you. All lowercase letters. Mr. Interrupt brings us music. Couchfire Media Productions does that. Twa Replay Productions does everything else. We're beta testing Bill's role-playing game Cursed. This is session 2.
This is session 2. What?
Afternoon. Well, it's session 2. Everybody, thanks for...
No, it's session 2. You're right.
Because we had a session
testing?
0. It's the third session, but it's the second.
Officially, right.
It's
Cursed
session 2.
TTRPG.
We are cursed. All of us are cursed.
How are you guys doing? Let's introduce ourselves. We'll start with Ken.
I'm Ken. I play role-playing games for fun on the internet, and sometimes I leave my house to do other things like dance, and that's it.
All right. And what's the character you're playing?
I'm playing a Budo, which is a lizard person. I'm about 7'2", maybe a little taller if I get my posture right.
Yeah.
His name is Bob Baker. He was a baker who ate the goo and got vaporized into another dimension and became a Buto. I mean, that's the story I'm telling.
Right.
Whether or not that's true. I don't know.
That's the one you're sticking with.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to that one.
How about you, Miller?
Yeah, I'm Miller. I'm a big fan of role-playing games. I really like all the indie movement from the past couple of years, and I like to see new games that people come up with, new mechanics and stuff. So I'm really liking the very different take that Cursed has. And I am playing Clem. Clem is a Miroshi. He's about 6'8". He's the he was the heir of one of the kingdoms there, and there was a war. His father was killed, and he had to flee. So that's why he's up here.
Very cool. And what is his race and all that good stuff?
He's a Miroshi, which they're a little more like similar to Native Americans. They're from the Expanse, which is in the far southeast of the region. Let's see, was it Dane? How do you say that word again?
Dena. You can also say Doween because it's kind of looks like Doween, but it's pronounced Dena or Doina. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's Gaelic.
right, yeah. So anyway, they call my people like heathens or
Savages. Or Sauvage is literally the name for it.
Sauvage. Yeah, I've got like a ruddy umber skin. Wild eyes, 6'8", agile, athletic. He's a big guy. Kind of grumpy, straight to the point kind of guy.
Yeah, has a big hammer.
Right, yeah.
Which he will use, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, one moment about the races. So obviously the races are the races of Craster, and that's within the Dreadlore book. So it's a different universe or multiverse or whatever you want to call it. The Miroshi are technologically advanced. So the irony is they consider everyone else to be savages. But because they're from this far off place and they're wild and there's these stories and such, that's the dichotomy. Clem, that's Clem. Connor, John, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John. Writer of the Lynn Tapestry roleplay game. Currently playing 2 roleplay games. This one and Bar Room. It's another one which I'm playing tabletop. That's good. Connor is the dastardly Terry Thomas character, though his shenanigans haven't really shown yet, but hopefully will do. Mysterious past, but as anyone asks, it's a pretty dull affair, so nothing very interesting to reveal. But I'm sure once I've figured it out, there's a more interesting backstory to divulge. But yeah, just hanging around with 2 strangers who are twice the size of him, and they're keeping him. Character, the race is DaLune. What's the Gaelic again?
So you can pronounce it a couple different ways. Most people say DaLune because that's what it looks like. You can say Dinna or Doina.
Dinner. Yeah. Damn.
And it just means people or folk is the name of it.
Yeah, because we're indigenous to the area, aren't we?
I say dinner. Dinner. That's what the Zuns say. It's people. You are a funny dragon person. All right, so Ken posted an image of the world map in the chat if you guys want to check it out. Which that's just to give an overview, of course. The northern continent, that's the one you all are on, DaLune. And if you look to the northwest of it, that's going to be the region you're in. Right. You guys have found your way into the Western Mountains, the pass. You're being led by one of your NPCs, Cursedwood. He's an alchemist. He is also a Dinna. Dinna Sabline, so he's got very similar to Connor, sort of the high elfy look, snobby people. And he is both an alchemist and a theurgist, so he's got some understanding of tinkering and the weird science. He's leading you. You also got basically a bard with you named Ichabod. Ichabod seems very intelligent, maybe whimsical, but kind of shit in a fight. That's, I think, the general feeling. As to these guys' motivations, we haven't really delved too much into it, but a bit of an overview. Ichabod apparently just wanted to come along, and it seemed that he was in debt. So he's hoping that you guys will pay his debts. There's probably more to that story. Cursedwood is a little more enigmatic, a little more closed off. He's the guy who makes you sign the NDA first. He wants to be a part of an official sanctioned adventuring party, sanctioned by the king and the queen. And the way that he kind of bought his way into your guys' group, you guys, your capable big dudes group, is he says he knows a person who knows the location of the Mountain of God, or the Eye of God, or the Oculo de Dio, this fabled place that kind of nobody knows where it is. Supposedly, long ago, the Eye of God, or this mountain, the ancients lived there, and it was kind of like an Atlantis type thing. There's a lot of theurgy, and that's your guys' mission, you were charged by the king and the queen to gather theurgic items, and specifically knowledge about theurgy, so that they can use it to conquer the world and make sure that their kingdom isn't destroyed by the ensuing calamity here in a few generations. So you find yourselves in the pass. You've climbed up. Turns out all of you are extremely good at climbing. Connor's pretty good. The rest of you are like what's a word I'm looking for? Like mountain goats, just climbing up. You get up there. You're on this ridge. You're in the foothills. There's very rough terrain, winding around in between these almost like waves of mountain. We'll say foothill peaks, because you see the mountains like in the distance, right, towering above you and such. And you're attacked by bandits. It's just a small group of bandits. You guys are bum rushing them when turns out Cursewood has a boomstick, some sort of Theurgic device that he has appropriated to make a plasma jet shoot out, and he gets a lucky shot, blows the hell out of the leader, Thea. She had a backstory. Goodbye. And you have the 4 bandits. One hightails it, pieces out in the ensuing destruction. 3 of them drop to their knees, put their hands up. Turns out they're all ladies. They're all like road warrior style, brigandine armor that they've hodgepodged together. They have short bows and such, and little trinkets as you guys come up on them. Okay, so we're playing Cursed right now. We are in the world, which means you don't need to take actions, as in the official 5 actions. Cursed level doesn't go up or down. If you want to take an action, we go into rounds, in which case you take one of those 5 actions and you start manipulating the curse, regaining your resources, and all that good stuff. Until then, we're in the world. The action is on you guys. As you're coming up, these 3 women, different ages, they're all Dinah. So they're anywhere from like 14, 15 years old to like maybe early 20s. We'll say Connor, you'll immediately know these are likely Northmen, so people from Reach, travelers, vagabond, gypsy types that they're just they lead very rough lives. And, a lot of them are cutthroats, but that's also the sort of stereotype. All right, actions on you guys.
Leave it to the NPC to kill like the person who we needed to talk to. Willy-nilly.
Cursed would look
Uh,
up at you. He says, "Well, Connor said to
little help.
He said to shoot."
I'm just hanging here. Just a hand up or anything.
Indeed, the lizard is literally hanging. His shield is stuck, like the sword in the stone, like Excalibur. Boom, wedged into this deal. Maybe some of the heat has like melted part of it.
Something.
Yep, we've got any rope. Tie it to something secure.
Do you have rope?
Help them. Oh, hoping, which I'm a rambler. I'll have a rope. We've been traveling around. We'll have all the essentials.
You break out your rope. Start doing that. It is very easy to get him up. However, his shield seems stuck.
Yeah. Well, you seem smart, Cursed Wood. Do you have anything that would get my shield out?
Yeah. He kind of, shakes his head or scratches his head, looks through his robes a little bit. You see him like pulling out little tools and such. He's like, that won't work. That won't work. What's this? He kind of throws it over the edge. And he starts carefully ambling down this apparently very, very steep. It's not a cliff. It's just a very, very steep hill that has, some boulders poking out where you had just climbed up, and he's getting down to where your shield is. Meanwhile, Clem, you're standing up. You've walked the road. You're coming up on them with your hammer, and you see the 3 women. Maybe a couple of them are sort of like, they're looking at each other. One of them sort of started to back away, maybe like on her belly, like moving down the other side until she sees you and she stops in her tracks. 2 p.m. Sun's high. What are you doing, Clem?
Yeah, he's going to approach them and, well, ladies or girls, you look like young dinner.
Aye, sir, aye.
Children. That explains the depth of the mistake you just made. Where did your friend go?
They all quickly look at each other. You know, the dirt in their hair is like up in the air. As a the one who you're talking to. She says, 'twas only us three. She smiles, and you see like some rot in her teeth.
Yeah, so I'm going to point my hammer at her. And lying to me will not save your life. Where did your friend go?
The one next to her, she says, go ahead, tell her, Ivy. As Ivy has blue hair, it's all dyed. Think of Hook, you know, the movie with the Lost Boys, how they they have all the wildness. And she turns around. We'll give you a roll on this. You can roll Porpoise, since you are quite intimidating. And you're just looking for one success. So to refresh everyone's memory, on each die, one success is 4 to 7, 2 successes is 8 up, and you roll as many dice as you have and add up all the successes. If you have a skill, you can just apply it, so it gives you +2 successes. And if you have an obsession, you can apply it, gives you +1. If you can use a bond, it gives you an extra die. And those are not exhausted, you can just always use them.
Yeah, so I got one success. And just mechanically, I could have probably used my skill of mentoring for this, right?
Sure. Yeah, if you can justify it in the fiction, then it just changes how you describe it.
Okay. That's fine. No, I got one success.
So sure. So one success is all you need, as you are towering above her with a, like a 20-pound hammer or something. And she says, okay. She went back to the camp. She got scared. As you can see over there, there's like a puddle of piss. And like 2 feet where she obviously was standing.
That's reasonable. So you're going to take us to this camp, right?
They look at each other, look back up at you, and big doe eyes. They nod. So you have 3 new NPCs. As in all of my games, you're going to eventually collect more NPCs than players 100% of the time. You find out, Clem, as you're kind of standing there, and maybe they start chatting a little bit with you because they're 15-year-old girls. One is named Sybil, one is Ivy, and one is Imrodal.
Which one is the
Sybil,
blue-haired one?
That'd be Ivy. Ivy is the one that was talking. So
Okay.
Sybil has stark white hair. We'll say, Connor, you can tell that Sybil is actually a sibling. So she's a high Dinah. The other 2 have dyed hair. Ivy is blue-haired, and Imrodal has the ruddy auburn hair of a normal Dinah.
Is it Sybil?
Not that any of that's going to matter here in about 5 minutes, but
we all
go on.
Just have we all managed to make our way down towards the group, like the?
Yeah, you're all there. You're all there,
okay.
and as you get down there, Connor, you can you get your foot up and you're looking down at Cursewood. You see he's pulled out some a couple tinctures, and he's like, there's like a powder, and he's messing around with this alchemy stuff around the base of the stone, and where
right.
the shield is in. as you can tell, he's like adding something in there, trying to make like a goo, and we're gonna see what happens.
I'm just gonna sit back and if he starts to fall, I will try to catch him. I'll get under him in a way.
Very good. As you're sitting there, and we'll say, just with random curse stuff, although nothing happens, you've got that covered. So he's not going to take a tumble.
I'll say it to.
Go on.
I'll say it to Sabine or Sybil. Sorry. What's the name of the fourth one? The one that got away.
Sorry. These are all bad names. That's a cool name. Annalith. We call her Anna.
Anna's good.
Yeah. So what's Anna going to do when she gets to the camp?
They look at each other. Well, you're talking to Sybil, right?
Yep.
Yep. As she kind of looks over at Ivy, and Ivy says, do it, tell him. As Sybil goes, well, I suppose they'll tell him where you all are and try to come and take all your things.
How big's the camp? How many people are
there? As Anna's, maybe she's a little slender and a little taller. They're all on their knees still, hands up. We had about 10 or so. We're trying to get into, as you hear Ivy go, psst.
No, carry on. Keep going. Keep going.
Well, just for shits and giggles, we'll have you roll.
Yeah.
You can do men's, if it's more of a mind game. You can do corpus if you're basically riding off the laurels of your very big friend with a hammer, or animus if it's more of your charisma.
No, I'll go for men's. Obsession, no. Bond, no. To make this roll, do I need a specific trait?
No, you're not in rounds. You just make.
Right. Okay.
You can add a skill. You can add obsession. You can add a bond. That's just up to you, and you can do that before you roll too, or I mean after you roll too.
Yeah, none of them's applicable, so I've got 2d6.
Yep.
Oh, that's a 6 and a 1, so that's 1 success.
Yeah. All you need is 1. It's a threshold of 1, so meet it, beat it.
Also, I'll reach out my hand, tap her on the shoulder, and move her away from the rest of the group so that she feels a bit more isolated from her companions.
You do.
So that she can speak more openly.
As she sort of knee walks around.
No, I'll get up on her feet. I'll help her to her feet.
The other two girls are obviously looking hard at you with the worst of assumptions, but they don't move. As you take Sybil around, just a few feet away.
Yeah.
Well, so Taya, as she kind of like looks over at where Taya's half of her body is, it's all burnt to a crisp, as she almost for the first time is realizing what has just happened. You'll realize that they're all in shock, of course, as she her eyes get huge. Taya, she wanted us to go. She was leading us to Olo the Wreckers. We were trying to. She kind of looks back at the body, back at you. She was trying to get into his gang of thieves and such. But you gotta have something to give him. So we were trying to give him sweat.
But you have a group of what used to be 15 people. Why is your gang not good enough fight?
No, we were 11, with Taya included. See, it says right here.
Oh, I thought you said there was 10 people at the camp. That's who Anna was
You
going
see her
to.
just staring down at the body, and then you hear she'll like look over at Ivy. Ivy, how many was it? As Ivy says, "Okay, 1, 3. Wait, no, 1, 2." You realize that they had 11 people total.
Right. Okay. Right. That's great. That's great. Right. Helpful. Okay. Well,
And it's about this time. She's in full shock mode. She's really not responding.
do we have any food?
To shake her? But
No. I'll take out a hip flask, which probably got some whiskey in it, give her a swig, and then offer it to the other two.
Sure. They drink it like champs.
Oh. I hope they don't drink all of it. Is there any of it left?
Tell me high or low.
Hi.
Miller, will you roll a die and tell him if it's high or low?
Hi.
All right. As you do, they just took little nips.
All right. Good. I'll check. Just the weight of it. Screw it. Put it away. Then I'll look to Clem and Bob and the other two and just... What are we doing here?
There's a rush of light and then a chemical sound, fizz, smoke from the shield. As Bob, you see Kirstwood pull out the shield or just dislodge it, and he goes, "Eureka!" and he falls back into your arms.
I touch him.
The bottom of your shield is sort of marred with this. It's sort of misshapen with the sludge, but it's intact.
Nice. Shield good. Protects cursed wood.
As you amble back up, and you guys are on the path. What do y'all do?
Those girls have anything good to say, or are they just dinner?
Don't eat us! Don't eat us, reptile man!
They're compliant. Connor.
There was 11 in total. Now there's just 10.
Oh.
Right. Connor and I got some information.
Yeah.
Cursewood, is their group the one we're looking for?
As he comes back up and he's putting his things away. This group, he looks at the girls, sort of a flash of something in his eyes. No. And these are,
You know them, though.
well, I know of them. These are the bandits that they're everywhere. Northmen. They're from Reach. I say, let them go or kill them. As they're
Whoa.
like, ah!
I don't think we should kill him. If there's somewhere between 3 and 7 of them in a camp somewhere, they're trying to find Olo.
Oh,
Maybe we use them as bait or something, use the pretties, the littles.
Barter them.
don't eat this reptile man!
Right, Bob, just less of the, it sounds like you're gonna start chewing on them.
His tongue is like,
I apologize for my reptilian friend, but he may eat you.
Eat the runners. They're the best food.
Yeah, Clem's going to pick up the crossbow that Taya left and show it to them.
it's a nice hefty crossbow. It's like a mini ballista. Like two of them could carry it. Thea was a little older, so she was lugging it around. It has like a big strap on it, but it's like a tiny ballista, and it cranks. There's a clockwork and shit.
Okay, I'm gonna show it to the girls.
Oh,
Is there more like this in your camp?
they kind of look at each other. The dragon. Yeah, just a little bit. We were amassing a few things that we found on the roadside.
Right. So do your people value your lives enough to trade you for more of this equipment?
This is a good question. You're just asking for their opinion. You guys have made enough rolls with these girls, and you've intimidated them, and also, in some ways, they kind of like are starting to like you because you're big dudes that like do cool shit, and you know they're 15 and stupid. As you get a mixed response, but it is a truthful one. Ivy, the more vocal, says, to be honest, they probably care more about the stuff than us. I mean, look at us. But they've got 2 or 3 of those and a wagon.
How'd they get a wagon up this path?
We didn't. We took it from. We took it down the. I actually don't know what it's called, but it's a road up that way. We're taking it down to Sut, or to just north of Sut, as they sort of correct each other and push and such, and kind of almost play a little bit, utterly ignoring the ruined Thea behind them and like the blood and guts and everything.
What's the name of that city that we were in with the fish market and where we got supplies?
You started in Coblix.
Coblix, but then there was that outside city.
No, it was just
that was on the bridge.
Yeah,
it was just so
yeah,
that was Coblix. That was like the outskirts of Coblix.
Correct. Yeah, Coblix is on the sort of miniature island of Westmark, just across that bridge, and you guys are in the wilds right now. Yeah, as Bob, you probably don't know much about what's around here. But Ivy continues, we were going south, just to Sut, as one says. It wasn't Sut, it's north of Sut. Okay, well, it's a few miles south. And you find out that Olo's camp, his compound, as they call it, is rather large, several miles to the south. And if you keep on going east, you'll find a road to it.
So what did you have? So to Ivy. So what did you guys have to present to Olo that you have now to join his group?
Well, we weren't. Ivy's still talking. Well, we didn't have enough yet, which is why we were looking for things on the road.
Collecting.
Things that people dropped. Collecting. Right, he understands.
Collecting.
We had a few of these things as she goes and kind of tries to grab it from Clem, but doesn't because he's holding it. And a few of these other jugs of liquid. You're not supposed to open it though. You're not supposed to smell it. And we had a wagon, and it kind of has a crank on it.
I'll turn to Clem and Bob, gesture for a private powwow, and I'll usher over Cursewood. Cursewood.
And Ichabod will be just sitting back about 10 feet. You see him listening and kind of strumming his guitar. It's a different instrument every session, by the way. As he's looking down at Thea, or what's left of her, he looks kind of sad, at the body, that kind of thing.
Ichabod, play us a song to lighten up the children.
As he starts playing a song, and it's a little mournful, but it definitely brings a little bit, it's nicer than just rushing wind in the high plains.
Right, guys. 2 things. 1, Cursewood, you promised me that if we survive this whole thing, which we did, you're going to explain to me your relationship and what you want from Olo. And 2, guys, what are we going to do? Do we carry on, intercept this ragtag band before they get to us, if they're on the way there to where we're going? Or do we join with them? Would Olo be able to help us, or would Olo be someone, I presume, to avoid on our task?
That's a good question. I think if we need to collect more stuff, we need to collect more stuff with the girls and the other people that they're with, because I don't want to eat them all. I can only eat maybe one. So it would be a waste to kill them. Let's try to join them. They seem to have an idea of what they need, and maybe use the women, the girls, as collateral to join their group. And maybe we have collected enough.
Kirstwood, are these young women going to be able to help us?
You see Kirstwood thinking, he's furrowed brow, like he has a little bit of a headache or something. Well, these ruffians, okay, they're more likely to slit our throats when we sleep than help us. I'm not saying that they're evil, but that's in their nature. They're orphans from reach because they don't take care of their own. They're bandits. And he kind of goes on this little diatribe. Olo, the Wrecker is what they call him, has been amassing Theurgy and weapons, and he's the reason for the fields burning. He's just as like to fillet us as take us in, especially if we're from Coblix. They say that Olo wants to make his own kingdom. For lack of a better word, he's a warlord. Now, if we want to join him, there's kind of like a twinkle in Kirstwood's eye. It's utter freedom. And they say that he's a fair and just man that rewards those that do well, as opposed to the Western Kingdoms that it's all about titles. If we're going to go to the Eye of God, to Oculo de Dio, we have to go somewhat northeast, which is not where Olo is.
Okay. What
Well,
if...
maybe we play it by ear. If Olo shows up, we give them all this stuff. Say, oh, we're going to join you. And if we don't run into him, it's not a problem.
I don't think Olo, as he kind of quiets his voice a little bit so the girls can't hear, I don't think Olo will take these girls in for anything more than, and he just lets the silence take. They don't have anything to give. A few miniature ballistas and what sounds like a jug or two of alchemy versus 10 mouths to feed.
I reckon what we should do is meet with the rest of this ragtag band and propose they join us. We're hunting, we're seeking out what they're after. They can take a small portion of it and use it however they want, so long as they help us get what we need, what we've been tasked with.
You guys can all do it, or one of you can. It's up to you. to get a feeling from Kirschwood as Connor is talking. So this would be Animus.
Not me though, because I'm doing the talking. Yeah.
No, you can absolutely roll.
Well.
You can read the room and talk at the same time.
Okay. Well, I've got one. What's?
You can tell he doesn't like that idea. When you talk about bringing them with you, and I'll give, depending on what you guys get, I'll give you each a little bit different read off of Kirschwood.
Okay. Right. I'll roll. If no one else is.
Clem, are you gonna roll?
Yeah.
I didn't get any. I got 0.
Yeah, he's,
I got 1.
he's a dinner.
Hey. Yeah, I got
He's dinner.
You got one? He's dinner. Clem, as that's good. Clem, as you're looking down at him, the feeling that you can get from Kirschwood is specifically when Connor mentions giving them some of the loot, some of the what you all find. He's a little covetous. You can tell he doesn't want to share with them. It's nothing.
Well,
it's not like an enraged feeling. You can just tell he kind of squirms a little bit, but doesn't say anything.
Well, Connor, I like the first part of your plan. The second part doesn't sit well. Here's what I propose. We go to this group of people. We propose to them. We tell them that we know where they can get what they need to join Olo. If they join us, we will take them to get the stuff. And then we take them to Olo to join Olo.
But we don't give them anything to offer Olo.
We keep it. They join our group. We keep all the tech away from them, locked away, because it's a gift. They don't get to touch it or use it till we get to Olo.
As Kirschwood kind of nods, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. He looks up at you. It's a very good idea. Very good. Just obsequious.
Yeah, we gotta collect more things.
And Kirschwood, what's your relationship with Olo? What are you not telling us about you and this warlord?
Well, I've never met him. But he just kind of thinks he's done some awful things, but I do respect the idea of freedom and not being beholden to people with titles. As he just kind of he looks extremely Sibylline as he kind of has a head tilt and very haughty. I mean, he's a brigand, of course.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't want to get between us and our goal, so okay, let's negotiate.
All right.
I reckon we at least tie the hands of these young women behind the back so they don't try anything while we escort them back to their cohort.
Yeah, take their weapons and everything too.
All right. Taking their weapons is fine. They each have a little short bow with a few arrows apiece. Other than that, maybe a knife or two. Do you search them?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So as you search them, you find that they have all kinds of little ways to poke and stab, makeshift stabby things. One of them will be like taking when you walk up a rock and sharpening it. Just they're industrious people that live in the hills, so they can make a weapon out of anything. And so you rid them of all their weapons and use some of the rope to tie up their hands, which they protest profusely against.
Either that or you get eaten.
Yeah, they don't resist. They protest. They are not happy at all with it. Everything you can imagine.
Keep complaining and you'll all be wearing gags.
Just because you said it, one of them's like, "What's a gag?" All right. Do you gag? It's a cutscene. She's the one gagged, like walking down the hill.
Yeah, exactly. Let's demonstrate. Gag is.
Yeah.
All right. As you guys start going, there is, of course, a point where, Cursewood is leading you on. There's a point where you can start going in the foothills more to a higher elevation, towards more of the mountain and the crag. There you can see, the mist sort of rolling over, kind of like the Smoky Mountains and the peaks way in the distance in the north. High mountains off to the east, taller and taller and taller, dark mountains, way far away. Cursewood will assure you we're not going that far. But there's this crossroads, so you can continue going up elevation or around a little bit more into a valley. The girls say their encampment, the last time they saw it, was down in that valley. Cursewood says, if we're going to go where I was leading us, it's a few miles that way up. So which direction do you go?
Well,
You're in the
we
ship
wanna-
right now, by the way. You're in the wilds.
do you want to do the side quest with all the people? Or, just say, fuck it. Just
Well,
go on our way.
Cursewood, this person we're going to meet, should we meet them alone, just the 5 of us? How will they react if we show up with the whole camp?
Cursewood looks, at you and kind of considers. Then he looks over at the girls. Something perhaps in his eyes as he calculates. I think the girls can come along. I don't think it'll matter that much.
I think you misunderstood. Should we go to if we go to the camp, convince them to follow us, and then show up to your guy's house, will that make him reluctant to give us the information we need? Or more pliable?
He considers.
I think time is
No.
of the essence. I think we move. We go the
I think we-
shortest distance between
No,
two
I-
parts.
I think we get
Okay.
we get them on board. Safety in
Fine.
numbers.
At least I
As
won't go
Cursewood will kind
starving.
Cursewood nods. No, I think the more the merrier.
Okay. Fine. Let's go down the road.
Yep.
All right, as you guys head down, go on, Glenn.
I was just gonna say, yeah, as we're walking, I'm gonna kind of get close to Cursewood so we can talk without everybody hearing.
Sure, you'll be up front.
Yeah, I'll say, so this friend of yours isn't friend, is it?
He kind of looks up at you. You can see his eyes. No. He's
So
not.
we're more. Okay. That's all I need.
He's- As he kind of looks at you, he says, he doesn't puff his chest out, but you see more of that haughtiness. His back's a little straighter. For a sauvage, what I have heard, you are a very perceptive people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna respond. I'm just Gonna keep walking.
As you can tell, imagine talking to a racist who's trying to be respectful. He's making an attempt. As Clem, you can tell, he's one of those pointy-eared sibling guys who thinks he's kind of better than everybody. As he leads on, and you guys go down through some terrain until there's an obvious point, of the winding path. The goat path itself is just rough. Your ears are popping if you have those, and it is a perfect point to get ambushed. As you guys kind of stop before it's just obvious. The goat path is widened out just a little bit, and it's going down into a clearing. Maybe 20-foot hills on both sides. You can see out ahead there is a wagon. It looks like a lone wagon that has some brush thrown on it. From here you can kind of tell, and you're also you know what to look for. But there's no one in sight. As Cursewood will actually just be walking straight into it. As one of you maybe stop.
Hold up, Cursewood. I think we gotta think about this. What do you guys think about if we take the girls and we tie them around me like they're girl armor? Would that work?
Bob Baker, we won't be indulging your fantasies today. Connor, can you do your sneak around and do a little scouting?
Yep.
See if you can spot them before they spot us.
Private conversation away from the girls. I think it might be better if we just let them lead the way. So if there is a trap to be sprung, they are sprung. While they're doing that, then I'll head off, do a bit of reconnaissance. And Ichabod, you want to come with?
Yeah, I'll come with. As he fastens his guitar.
Yeah. We'll be keeping an eye on you, but be careful. So, also, can we have it so that the girls are all tied to, like, hands tied behind the back, but they're tied in a line?
Sure.
Yeah, is that all right with you two?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, and I think we'll find a rock or an outcropping or something to kind of hide behind while Connor's scouting.
Well, I would let them go in first. Well, give us a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then lead them in. So that if a trap is sprung, me and Ichabod can do something about it as it's happening. Just like last time.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
go on.
Sneak off.
As we will go into rounds. So we'll have one round to see how this goes. So, Connor, what is the action you're going to take here?
Not metagame. Take charge. So it'll be. I shall bid the trait. Sneaky.
Yep.
And head off into cover.
Yep.
So,
as there's no need to roll, so describe what you're accomplishing.
All right. Oh, I thought there was a dice roll made when you take
only
charge.
If the threshold, only if the threshold is over.
Okay. Well, the other thing I want to be doing is, whilst traveling with Ichabod, is while we're traveling to a good vantage point, having a look around, inquire with him his opinion on, and I'll mention to Ichabod that my opinion is, if he's happy to take what he wants from the girls, I think he's more than happy to take what he wants from us. So I don't trust him. What's your opinion?
As you guys are sneaking around, you kind of go far off to the left and start climbing up. A place that you can climb to get on this hill and a good vantage point, maybe to try to flank. Speaking in low tones, Ichabod nods in agreement. I've kind of had a bit of a strange feeling from him. He just seems like one of those. He seems like more of a taker than a giver, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
As to the northeast, as you guys kind of get in a position and you can see down, pretty much accomplishing your goal. He says the northeast is a dangerous territory, not just because of bandits. In fact, if I remember correctly, there's some sort of evil up there in the mountain, in the caves. Travelers don't really stay or go that way that often, and I'm not entirely certain what it is, where we're going, but I do know anywhere towards Calgary is considered a bit of cursed lands. So anyway, at that point, as you get over, you can see where the wagon is, and behind the wagon, you see a bunch of girls, and they're sitting there. They're all like shoved up against the wagon. You see a couple ballistas. Some of them are a little bit older, maybe like late teens. You could see around the corner, as in straight down below you, because you're on the cliff part, maybe 20 feet. There's a couple there as well, and they're just waiting to ambush you all. Okay, that's your action. We'll go to Clem and or Bob.
I'm going to bid sit back.
Same sees.
Sit backs.
So I can get some traits
Awesome.
back, maybe.
Yep, so both of you make an Animus roll, +1 success.
2.
Right, so you got 2 +1 or 2 total?
I got
2 total.
1 success.
All right, so
Can I bid a skill, or is that you can't do a skill with that?
yeah, you can do obsession, skill. Every roll you do, you can throw down on that.
I'm gonna use my skill, leatherwork, to kind of sit back and fiddle with adjust my stuff and kind of reclamp some of the stuff that has kind of gone unhinged to give me an additional 2 successes.
Yep. So whatever the total is, go on.
I'm gonna grab 3 successes. I'm gonna use my skill mentoring. I'll be talking to Bob Baker about our plans and how I'm planning the whole thing to go out. And in the worst case scenario, we'll finally meet our end. My obsession with death.
I love it. So 3 successes right there. Do either of you want to use your bonds? Should give you an extra die.
Can you put it into anything? Yeah, I'm not going to use my bond. Does the bond go away, or
Nope.
can you?
Nope.
Well,
Bond, skills, and obsession don't go away.
then I'll definitely use my bond. I want to look good in front of Clem.
Awesome. So make that extra roll. So you get that extra die. It'd be your Animus die.
Doesn't help.
Okay. So whatever the total is, you regain that in moments and or traits.
Okay.
So let's say you got 4, or
Mhm.
let's say you got 2. You could be like, okay, I'm going to regain 2 moments. Or I'm going to regain 2 traits, or 1 trait, 1 moment. It's up to you. All right. As you guys sit
That's
back
awesome.
and you're getting ready, the girls, have you let them go yet?
No.
I mean, let them go out ahead, or are you waiting?
Oh yeah, well we were gonna wait like 10 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
And
So
then
if you guys are fixing your stuff up, it can be 10 minutes. It's up to you. Cursewood's gonna be sitting there. He doesn't touch the weapon that he was using. but
Yeah,
he'll pull out
Curse
light.
would maybe no on the weapon at the very start. I think we can handle this without the big.
Well, I only have
Murder.
2 more charges. I only have 2 more charges, so
Yeah,
wanna
save
hold on
that
to
just
that.
in case we run into something we really can't handle.
so they'll get a vial that looks like vitriol is what it is. He's like holding it. As it has been about 10 minutes. This is the bottom of the round. At present, you guys are at curse level 2. So, if someone wants
I'm
to
gonna
resolve, or shall I roll?
I'm gonna resolve the curse, saying that my shield might have had some additional. It's like a little bit harder to hold now that it was. I can't just use it in a traditional way. I have to use it like holding the top, because the leather on the inside is kind of broken off.
Okay. So it's just, it needs to be repaired.
It needs to be
Sure.
repaired. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. As that's the round, and do you let the girls out ahead or something else?
Yeah, I'll push them ahead, and I'll grab the center one with one hand and my hammer with the other while we're walking down the path.
As you guys start walking down, as you push them, the one who is gagged, that is which one was it? Oh, it's Imradel. As she's like, "Arr!" And you push him out, and it is the best ambush you've ever seen from 14-year-olds. As stop right there, they shout and jump out from both sides. As you see from the wagon, they whip around with their bows and their 2 ballista. One of them, you'll see Connor has what's called a riflet, or a small rifle, which is new. As she pops it up this way, stop right there! Ah, fuck! It's Ivy and Emerald and Sybil. No, you idiot! There's a dragon with him. Hey, you dragon! Can you talk? Do a trick for us, dragon.
I do a little jig for him.
What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna do nada.
I'm gonna
So in rounds, okay, do nada. Go on.
Nudge Ichabod and says, right, let's go, and we shall start moving around to attack from the rear, hoping that Clem and Bob can stall for just long enough for us to take the ambushers.
Okay. And what's the
by
action
surprise.
you're gonna take?
Slow, steady sneaking.
Well,
So-
I mean the one of the 5 actions.
Would this be role playing or would taking charge?
I would consider it a take charge, because you're affecting
Take charge.
fiction.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. And Clem?
Clem is going to take charge also.
Okay. So it's on you guys what traits you do and who sort of announces first. So name your trait and then describe what you do.
Sneaky. I'm going to ambush the ambushers with Ichabod.
As with sneaky, you go down the side, sort of boot scooting, and you will get into a flanking position. You're not able
Or
to
if
attack,
possible,
but go on.
Gauging how well Clem and Bob does, we'll have to gauge our approach, because I want to get right up close and blade to the neck and just completely catch these people completely off guard.
Okay. So you're on your way, and we're going to see how Clem does. All right, Clem, what are you doing?
Clem's going to use Blade for Hire. He's going to attempt to intimidate them. So, he'll I'll use my hammer to increase the successes, hopefully.
Sure.
I'm gonna just raise it off my shoulder a little bit.
Oh, they all do this.
I'll say to them, lay down your weapons or meet your death.
As they kind of like back up. Oh, that's a big man. Yeah. It's not, really don't need to roll for this. You're huge. You have your captives in front of you who are all like, lay down your weapons. And so like, lay down your fucking weapons. And they are intimidated by all of you. However, one accidentally shoots her bow. Ting! Swing! As the arrow flies, doesn't hit you at all, any of you, but it goes overhead. As the scene is maybe the girls, you see them like their heads all move in unison like this. As they see the arrow hit the dirt behind you several feet, and then terrified, look up at the dragon and the Myroshi. Do you all respond in any way?
I'm going to respond that I'm just picking stuff off of my dinner.
Clem, any response here?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my ability Brutal Gaze and just friggin' stare daggers down into her heart.
Yeah, she drops her bow. Meanwhile, Connor, you found yourself behind the wagon. And in fact, Clem and Bob, you'll see Connor like moving around with Ichabod, as you get behind the wagon. Whose throat do you put your knife to?
The rifle.
As you put your knife at the girl's throat.
It's my straight razor.
Oh,
I shall produce it from a hidden slot in one of my sleeves, and open it up, and then gently put it to her throat.
As this girl's, she's got orange hair, like brilliantly orange hair, kind of trains down her back. She's maybe 16. She has this rifle. Looks like she actually kind of knows how to use it too. Maybe she's had it for a while. Who knows? As she turns and is talking to the girls, she says, shut up, girls. You gotta, kark. As
Nice.
they start laying down their weapons, seeing you there.
Good
Hey,
choice.
who are you?
With blade round the throat, other hand, reach round, grab the rifle, take it off her.
All right, easy. As you see Ichabod, Connor, he has his guitar, like looking at the girls, like he's gonna hit it. And we're out of rounds. We're in the world.
Yeah.
What are you all doing?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Once we're in the world, does the danger level go back to 1?
No.
So do we need to resolve something to reduce the curse? Because we're at the bottom of the round. Or we're not
Indeed we
there
do.
yet?
Indeed, we do. So let's resolve, or I can roll. You're at danger. Let's see.
2.
1, 2. You're at danger 2 right now.
But didn't taking charge, doesn't taking charge always increase it by 1?
Yeah, but
Correct.
Bob did do nada, which that's what it's in the book. What did you want to call it instead?
Oh,
Or the autopilot.
I didn't.
So that
Autopilot.
you
Yeah.
do nothing, but your character does act, that sort of thing.
Right. So since he did an autopilot, it dropped the tally by 1. You're at 4 tallies right now. So you're at curse 2.
Yeah, so we're akin to being in a trapped room, a broken machine. There's some faulty ammo, or
Right.
more foes. How many girls are there? I mean, maybe a couple of more girls are gonna surprise the surpriser.
So
could
do you guys want to resolve or roll?
I think we should resolve.
did the hour that was released actually hit anyone? Because surely, okay.
But you could say that.
Because I'm saying you could resolve it so that the hour actually hit someone, minor injury, but obviously that person. How does penalties work in this?
Yeah,
system?
I'll take it. I'll take an arrow.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's fine.
All right. How do penalties work? It's all in the threshold. So it'd be like, well, the threshold's normally 2. Well, I'll make it 3 because you're injured or something like that.
So if you're injured, is so more rules here?
Cool.
If you're injured, so if it's a physical affliction, does that mean that the threshold for corpus rules are increased by 1? So that if you have the equivalent for men's, so that you're struck by some sort of psychic attack or you're distracted.
Exactly. So that's the narrative element, and it's by and large up to the arbiter how that plays out. But it can be a conversation with the player and the arbiter to say, "Hey, well, could it be this way?"
Yeah. Okay.
And you kind of manipulate it as you go. All right. So this is a short bow. It's a ranged weapon. Let me consult the rule book and see how much damage it does.
It says like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it should be.
Damn.
Let's see.
The resolution kills Clem.
I feel like a different my resolution was kind of funny, but we'll do it that way.
Let's see. Give me just a moment, y'all. Role play amongst yourselves.
Clem, they're just a bunch of girls. I don't like fighting
4
girls.
damage.
Oh, there won't be any fighting.
As the arrow, hits your arm, Clem, and it really didn't hurt at all. But as you get up here, you actually feel the blood going down as it went through, a chink in your armor and actually got into the flesh. So it deals 4 moments of damage.
Ooh, damn. All right.
Yeah. Welcome to. Damage is pretty deadly in this. All right. As one of the girls is just sweating bullets, staring at you, Clem, like won't look at you, like your eyes whenever you look. As you can tell, she is the one who loosed the arrow. Whether it was an accident or not, you don't know.
Right. I'm just going to completely ignore it and just let the blood just flow out while I'm talking.
You do.
Right. All right, come out. All of you come out. Gather around right here.
As they slowly do, and they're like, shit, it happened again. We suck at this.
Yeah,
Now,
you need better. Sorry, go ahead.
If you want to get better at this, I'm more than happy to teach us. But you need to work better on your ambush. Seriously, you need to work on this.
Well,
And I'll just escort them to Clem.
You need better leadership. That's what you need.
We had a leader. Where is she? Where is she? As they start pointing, it's sort of they're all shouting. The one girl, Amradil, who's like, she's still gagged as they're talking about Taya, and they start crying. Taya's dead. They killed Taya. This whole thing.
It was
Calm down. Taya obviously wasn't a very good leader, right?
Nah, she sucked, and they start arguing.
Oh, I like them.
As the one who's a little bit older, she's about 16. She was the one that had the riflet, or the riflet. She stands up. She's got the ruddy orange hair. Obviously, Sealta, Connor. So she's the sort of half elfy type. She stands up, hands on her hips. All right, everyone, shut up. If Taya's dead, then I'm your leader. As several of them say, Juliana's the leader. They kind of argue a little bit, but
no.
Take into charge. She turns. Who are you?
I'm your leader. Now listen up. We understand that you are trying to collect enough loot to buy yourselves to buy yourselves into Olo's clan, right?
That's right. We need loot.
If you want that to actually happen, you all join us, and we will get the loot. We know where to find it.
We don't follow boys. Juliana says, kind of like putting her chin out, but she's also shrinking at the same time.
I'm not a boy. I'm a Buto.
Silence.
Boy, girl, doesn't matter. Success is what matters. If you keep your mind on such trivialities as boys and girls, then you'll never succeed.
I will allow you to roll on this. And you can add your skills and all these things. It's a gaggle of teenage girls, so it's going to be a high threshold.
Right.
And the curse is 2, so they're just rowdy, and even though it's the best thing for them, it's rowdy. So the threshold is going to be 3 to convince them.
Okay. What do you want to roll? Corpus Men's or Animus?
It's up to you. How are you asserting yourself? Is it a logic thing? Is it more of a charisma type thing, like you're trying to win them over? Are you just, hey, I'm huge type thing?
Yeah, I think it's more going to be more bully. Like,
okay.
you want to get it done. So I'll use Corpus. I'll use my skill mentoring also.
Yep.
So
you're at 2 successes now. If you have
I got 1.
Or go on.
That's okay. I got 1 on the dice, so that'll give me 3.
Okay. So 3 successes. As the rest of you see Clem wade through these girls, and they all shout at each other. And in the end, he's standing over them, and they're like, all right, you're bigger.
That's not the way we do it. In my home, it's the oldest. That's the leader, the smartest, the oldest.
As the girls kind of look at you. You're a dragon!
And we're not in your home.
Ooh. All right.
Everywhere I go is my home.
All right, so it is this moment that you have a band of teenage girls from the north, from Reach, that follow you. It's pretty clear that their wagon is not going to make it up that trek. And as you look through their stuff, they have some provisions, pretty much the kind of stuff that you guys have, except it's things that they foraged. So like fruits and meats. They have clearly raided a few travelers, but mostly what they have is stuff that they probably weren't lying. They found a bunch of stuff. Their weapons are rusted. Maybe they actually robbed some graves. Trinkets. They're basically wearing most of it. A lot of bows and arrows, some knives, things of interest. They have a riflet, so it looks like a rifle. It has a Theurgic sort of clockwork thing on it, and if you investigate it, it takes some very interesting ammo. So we can talk about that in a second.
I haven't given it back to her, by the way.
Right. You guys have the 2 mini ballistas, so they're heavy crossbows, is what they are. Clockwork crossbows. I'm sorry, medium crossbows. They're just Theurgic. And they have, so you have 3 of those right now. In the wagon, there's 2 pots that look like they're moonshine. So imagine oversized mason jars with a leather cloth that has a wrapping around it. And they say you can't touch it, you can't smell it, it's bad for you. So that's what you've got. 3 crossbows, medium, 2 pots, riflet, and then an assortment of jink and such. So whoever wants to write down stuff, if you want to take, then just put it on your character sheet. Otherwise, the girls are either carrying it or you're kind of leaving it or hiding the wagon or something like that.
Well, if no one objects, I'll take the rifle.
And I'll
Take
take
it.
one of the crossbows.
Okay.
And I'll take one of the little girls.
No.
Oh!
I guess not.
We need them. Bob.
Yes.
Okay. If we need them, maybe they can forage for us. I need a lot of food.
Yes.
All right. Clem. So this crossbow, actually, it's my bad. I'm consulting, sorry. So a normal crossbow is a medium weapon. Because this is Theurgic, it's a heavy weapon. So it deals +6 damage.
Okay.
You'll have, in all the stuff that they have, you'll have 10 bolts. Unless you just take all the bolts, and then you have 30.
No, I'll just take 10. I'll split it.
Cursewood will go over to the jar of elixir stuff, and he says, all right, well, one of them, don't do that, as he looks at one, sticks his finger in, tastes it. So this is Pachin. As Ichabod goes, ooh, and walks up, and they start drinking it.
What is
Oh,
Pachin?
As Ichabod turns, he says, you see his eyes are like kind of dilated. As he says, oh, Pachin, it's the Mountain Dew. It's a what do you call it? Wishka, moonshine. As it's a jar of moonshine. As Cursewood says, oh, it's good. It's good. So you have a big jar of moonshine, which is, 100% alcohol. Very flammable. The other one, Cursewood will go over to and start looking through. And we're going to find out what that is randomly in the Dreadlord book. So what are you guys doing in the meantime?
I'll look
Yeah.
at Clem, and I'm a little worried that he's cut, and I'll take a little bit of that little cup of the moonshine, and I'll pour it on his wound to disinfect it, and then I'll try to patch him
Clem,
up a
this
little
hurts.
bit.
This hurts.
Yeah.
You don't want to
I'll
get.
let him do it because I know he's trying to.
Yeah,
You don't want to get infected by these probably dirty arrows.
Speaking of the arrow, how do you get the arrow out?
I'm gonna help him with that by
Yeah, hold on.
oh, did you?
Sorry. I was letting you go. So before we touch the arrow, I'm going to grab that big jar of moonshine and take a big old drink of it.
Yep, you do. Glog. It burns. It's pure moonshine. You're a huge dude, so one swig like that, you feel it, but you're not drunk. Ichabod he's a little bit, woo! I need to stop. Give me another one. But he doesn't take any more. He's a little spinny. Cursewood just took a little nip. Yeah, this will get you drunk if you drink too much of it.
Right.
Which is the goal. So as you numb a little bit of the pain, pour a little bit on the wound to disinfect it. And how do you guys do this?
I'm gonna take my claws and I'm gonna cut the wound open. Well, first I'm gonna dip my claw in the moonshine to disinfect it, and then I'm gonna just make an opening so that when I pull it out, it doesn't.
I love it.
Unless
so-
it needs to be pushed all the way through. Do you think you want me to push it all the way through, or just take it out?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll give you a hand with it, and I'll hold the arrow and do a little pushing and pulling as you're
And I'm
opening it
gonna
up.
just cut.
As you
cut
guys do a little bit of surgery here, let's have let's do a round really quick, just so you can use some traits.
Right.
So that'll be a take charge for Bob.
Yeah, I'll take
And what are
charge.
the rest of you doing? Are we autopiloting? Are we role playing, or what's the other one for the rest of you?
I feel like everybody else should autopilot. We don't want to increase the threshold too much. And
I think I am just going to autopilot.
Okay.
Just kind of let him do his thing.
Connor?
I'll leave them to it and just speak with. I want to be shown how to use this rifle, so it's just an aside, really. So.
Sure. So do you want to autopilot at this point, or do you want to do a role play?
Yeah. Just autopilot.
So as you guys autopilot, Cursed goes down to, it's still at 2. You're at 3 tallies. As this will take a good 20 minutes. As you're careful. You get the arrow out. It hurts, but this strong wine, it's actually just poitín, which is Irish moonshine, numbs it really well, and it's clean wound. As who is going to patch it up? We'll say Bob.
yeah,
you know something
I got
about
a med kit.
As you med kit it and start doing your thing. What was the
Patch
trait
it.
you did?
I'm gonna bid claws.
Cool. As you use your claws
As I use my
like
claws
surgical deals. I love it. All right. We'll say, hey, Connor, roll me a d10.
D10. Did you get this? 2.
2?
2.
Wow. Lucky ducks.
Mm.
All right. As Cursewood is over at the other pot as the surgery's going on, and Connor, you're looking at the rifflet. Doing autopilot, you pretty much see that it takes shells. And you're kind of looking for the shells. You'll see Juliana is looking in a different direction, as you do this.
I'll show you how to ambush if you teach me how to use this rifle.
All right. And she hands you, it looks like a little leather fanny pack, and it's full of shells. We'll see how many is in there. So roll a d12.
I don't have a D12.
Well, roll a
Of
d10.
anyone?
I got a D12.
Yeah.
6 on a D10.
Okay. You have 6
Oh.
shells, plus the one that's in there. So you have 7 total. These are Haas-ass shells. Have you guys seen Outlaw Star? Anybody?
No.
It's an old anime.
No.
Anyway, imagine just a big shotgun shell, right? A little bit longer. The metal is a precious metal, so either silver or gold or something like this. And there's this wrapping that's wrapped around it, and it has arcane runes on it. These are caster shells. So that is a spell, basically a spell bullet. And that's how ammunition pretty much works. It's packed with an alchemical powder. Who will get this reference, called spice, or the spice.
The spice must flow.
Okay, which is an orangish spice that's in there. Okay.
So when you get shot, your eyes turn blue. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Well done. All right, so you put that in there. A misfire is usually very, 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 very bad. But regardless, you have 7 of these. They're difficult to get because they're made. You have to basically find them. All right, so you got 7. You had rolled a 2 as Cursewood. You guys are all sitting in the wagon. Cursewood's there as you guys are doing the surgery, and he says, "I've a keen's titty. Do you know what this is?" As the girls are like, "Don't touch that. You're not supposed to touch it." I know, and smell it. Boys, see, gets down on his haunches and looks at you two, as well as Connor. This is Dracofear.
Oof. We're gonna set some stuff on fire.
It's about yay big and but it's got a piece of leather over it, wrapped.
I'll take that.
What is Dracofear? Dracofear, also called Alchemist Fire, is a nigh unquenchable purplish flame that burns so hot it can melt stone. Yeah. So they have a pot of this shit. Okay.
That's a spicy meatball.
At this point, let's take a short break. We'll come back and get into the next scene. Okay. Like
Can
5,
I
6
resolve
minutes?
the curse?
Oh, absolutely. You can resolve the curse.
All of a sudden, the wagon wheel, like, because we're all sitting on it, falls over and like crushes maybe one of the girls' hands. It's right next
guys
to our
all cool with that?
feet.
All right.
Because
As
we're
it's
at
what
danger
happens.
level 2, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad.
As Cursewood luckily catches the Alchemist Fire. Thunk! And she's like, whoa! And the wheel, chink, because they just haven't maintained it, falls over, and one of the girls, we'll see who it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Clem, will you roll me a D8?
2.
Emradel, or Emradel,
Poor Emerald.
as she's the one that was gagged.
Just bad
As
day.
it falls on her foot, and she's like, and that's where we're going to
Still
take a
gagged.
pause. All right, we'll do like a 6-7 minute break, get some coffee, do your thing. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Yay.
All right.
Well,
We're back, and we're
We're back.
better than ever. We're playing more of this beta test, called Cursed, inspired by the Dreadlore world, and I think we're having a really nice time.
indeed, for now.
For now,
All right, so
I mean, what is the Dread level or the?
red level. The curse level at present, you have 3 tallies, which means you're at 2. This is actually something I was thinking about doing. So I have yet to update the source book, but one is to call do nada that action autopilot. So if you're gonna do nada, you're gonna do autopilot instead. The other thing is, and I was interested in knowing how this would play. The curse level is based on tallies. So every time you do an action that increases the curse, it gets an extra tally. And it's every 2, and you get to another curse level. I'm thinking, and I want to know what you guys think. I was thinking about making every 3. What do y'all think?
What difference would it make
What it means is
exactly?
it means that the curse level doesn't go up as fast, but it also doesn't go down as fast.
Yeah. I know once it starts getting up there, it's kind of like scary. Like kind of where we left off. You said we're at a curse level of 2, which is danger. The next level up is Murphy's Law, where, anything.
Bullshit. That shit happens. Yeah.
Anything,
Go on.
is likely
I
going
think
to get us.
Just to test the core system itself, leave it at 2, just so that me and Miller can experience the true chaos of once it hits 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then once we've got an idea of just how extreme it can get, and how we have to then work out strategies to reduce it and keep it at a reasonable level, then we can play a test.
Sure. Miller?
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's hard for me to judge from here. I haven't seen the other end of it. So.
Yeah.
What level of when we played with the Dreadies cast? What level did we get to? Was it perilous, or did we?
I think you got the 5.
Oh, we got to the 9th layer of Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we pretty swiftly died at that point.
Yeah, everybody but Drizzle's character.
And he got picked up and flown out by something random.
Yeah, like a large eagle, like in Lord of the Rings.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think just because Drizzle was playing it correct. And
what was the end game?
Yeah.
Literally the last 5 seconds.
And the rest of us were kind of off on,
Andrea's character, she was a mage, and she was like, I summon a demon. I was like, okay. And scarce level
demon.
1 billion, and the demon does what she wanted, but then took her back to hell. So hilarious. Good one shot. All right, back to this game.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have, or I should say Clem, with your all's help, has become the cursed equivalent of Peter Pan for this gaggle of miscreants, these young women.
Everything I ever wanted to be.
Yeah, you have 10 bandit women, like 15, 14, 13 years old. Just maybe not cutthroats. I don't think that they're cutthroat. There's not really anything evil about them, but they definitely are rowdy and mischievous. Juliana is the eldest one right now, and she's sort of like your rival / right hand person. Imradel, her foot just got injured. She's still able to move and walk. It just dealt her a few moments. She's getting bandaged right now and is taking swigs of the pachine. So she's kind of out of the fight, but she can still move along. All right. actions on you all. We'll say it's all this has taken we'll say a couple hours, like to travel, et cetera, et cetera. So it's around 4 o'clock. It's, I believe I said the spring, so you have about 4 more hours of actual daylight, and it'll be dusk in about 4 hours. Actions on you.
So once Clem has the arrow removed, he'll look at Bob, put his hand on his shoulder, look him right in the eyes. Bob Baker, thank you, my friend.
For you, anything.
Go on.
So I guess the next thing we do is we're headed to Cursed Woods. This is to Connor. To Cursed Woods. His friend, like, what do we know about this guy? Cursed Woods guy.
Nothing.
Oh,
I'm still waiting.
okay. Well, a traveling we go, I guess. Do we need to fix the wagon? Or is that wagon just kind of dead weight and we just kind of leave it be? Do we need it for any reason? Do we need the wagon?
If we can't get it up the path, no. We can come back to it.
Yeah. Let's just take the good stuff and leave the rest behind.
Well, those big jars, I don't think we can really carry around. Especially not the Dragonfire one.
Yeah, we got to carry that. I'll manufacture. I'll put that in a backpack, and we'll keep that.
Cursewood says, no. We can't put it in a backpack. I mean, you don't want to jostle it too much. I can put it in some vials,
Okay.
as many as I can fill. And what about the Pachin? As you see, Ichabod over there, like sneaking a drink, like.
I think Ichabod's got it taken care of.
All right, I could absolutely carry this. I just fasten me my belt. As he pulls out his belt, like makes a little thing. All right, so let's find out how much Dracofear you all can carry with Cursewood's special alchemist vials that will explode.
I'm gonna show Cursewood my Gatorade bottles, and I'll finish off the Gatorade. Would this help for the cause?
Let's do a fate roll really quick. So who wants to be fortune? Who wants to be false fortune?
I'll go false.
Okay, and so that makes Connor fortune. All right, so here are the stakes. Okay. It's pretty obvious. If it's fortune, then the Gatorade bottle has some sort of lining. You know, it's from the Rainy Wilds, and maybe there's some sort of alchemical / magical property to it that can hold the Dracofear. False fortune wins. The exact same thing happens. It's just it turns out it slowly eats through it, and at some point,
it leaks out on my leg. Is that what you're telling me?
That's right.
It's a fire that doesn't get put out with water. Just like it's like the gonorrhea of
It's bad. It's bad news bears. All right, it can be put out. It just takes a long time. Okay, so roll a d100, and whoever wins wins. If you tie, something special happens.
It's not good.
76.
14.
Okay, as he Cursewood pours it in there, he kind of jostles it just a little bit away from his face. I think it works as he fills it up. We're gonna say that this Gatorade, he only fills it up one use of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be careful, just in case. In fact, he'll hand it to you. I hope you're right about this. So there's one use in there. All right, let's find out how much other uses you have. Someone roll me a d6.
I got it. That's 2.
Okay. As Cursewood, he looks through some of his vials. We need this one, we need this one. We can use these. And he has 2 vials of the Dracafir. Does anyone want a vial of Dracafir?
No.
Oh, I mean, I'll take the bottle that I gave him.
Yeah, you bring the Gatorade. Clem, do you want a vial of Dracafir?
No, I don't think that's Clem's style.
You guys are smart. Okay, so you start off. It's clear the wagon is not going to make it up these this foothill path. It could probably make it part of the way, but Cursewood will blatantly say there's no way it's going to make it to where we're going. If you want to bring it halfway, you can. You can hide it, or you can hide it here. What do you choose?
Is there anything important in it at this point? We've got
Just
it.
leave
I
it.
thought.
Brought some
Just
provision.
leave it where it is.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Leave it.
Unless the young women have somewhere very close by. It's a good place to hide it.
Okay.
If not, just go.
As Juliana will, there's some arguing and such. She'll turn to you, Clem. Listen, we don't want to give up our wagon. We could just hide it over there. That's what we do normally. No one's touched it.
Yeah,
As she
that's a good
waits.
idea. Yeah.
As she jumps in, a couple of the girls put their backs against the side of it as they're trying to like lift it up. And one of the other ones, it's like they've done this before. One of the other ones puts the wheel back on and like takes a rock and knocks, the bolts in, which is maybe why it was popped off. They all work together pretty well, as you all watch. They get in, and there's some cranking sounds and such as you see that the wagon is Theurgic. As you hear a clockwork like shing 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 shing, and the wagon moves by itself slowly. But as they wind up the clockwork, and they're all sweating because of it, it automobiles over to the side of the cliff, and they start throwing this brush that they had over there, and some canvas and such to kind of camouflage it.
While they're doing that, can I turn to Connor? Or not Connor. Sorry, Cursewood. Cursewood, you want to tell us what we're walking into today?
As the girls are off doing their thing, he has his arms folded. He turns. Well, we're going a little north and east. It's gonna get pretty craggy. We'll have to maybe do a little climbing. Looking at Imradel and her foot, I hope she can make it.
I'll help her. I feel like it's
Everyone
my
sort
fault.
Yeah, that doesn't really answer my question, though.
So this person that I know, he kind of like looks over at what's his name, Ichabod, who's for some reason always at least a stone throws away, playing his guitar, a little bit out of earshot. He's a former theurgist, and we'll say, okay, he was kicked out of the Mystics of 12 and 7 for experimenting. He's rather an old Doina, a few hundred years old. It's no matter really. Maybe slightly insane. But he knows many forbidden things, including where the eye of God is. oculo de Dio. We just will have to convince him to tell us.
Well, we've got these rings. They convinced you. Do you think the rings will help?
He looks at him. Probably.
If he's an insane old man, guessing is probably not going to work.
His eyes sort of dart back and forth. Yes. But with you two, and you, he's looking at all three of you. If he won't tell us, we can make it tell us.
Let's leave
When
that
was the last time you met him?
resort.
Oh, what'd you say?
When was the last time you met him?
Oh, that's what Connor said. Clem, what did you say?
Oh, so let's leave that as the last resort.
As Connor, you say that, he says, it's been a long time. Years.
Crazy mystics.
Okay.
Does he have any vices he might enjoy?
Cursewood kind of pauses. He has many vices.
I bet he likes some of this fire. This me fire. That's pretty cool.
Any sort of elixir like that, I'm certain he would go along with him. And perhaps some of the pachine. Knowledge. It's pretty obvious that, Cursewood is, he's being himself. So, I will state this since it's session 2. And we're in the world. You guys can do the equivalent of, hey, can I make a roll to get something? You can do that. And then also, you can also drop into rounds and do like a role play where you bid a trait, almost force the action, or you take charge and force the action. So those are sort of your options mechanically. If you want to use the mechanics or take charge of the fiction in that regard.
I think Cursewood...
Not saying you want to, or you should, but just to give you the option.
I think we go find your guy, Cursewood.
We need to be quiet, especially if it's dark. There's things in the hills. And
what were you saying
that
about the grease? The grease on...
Oh, the grease. As he pulls out, some grease and he starts oiling you up.
You think that'll help me be quieter? Just a little bit.
We hope. We hope. All right. You're still in the world?
Well, so when all the girls are finished hiding the wagon and we head off, I want to talk to Juliana.
Okay. You guys are
Juliana
off into the wilds. Cursewood's up ahead. The train of girls are going. They're not bound, right?
No, we set them off.
No, not anymore. No.
And you guys have your marching order. We'll say in the back, Juliana and Clem are talking.
I'm in the back because I'm the loudest one.
And Clem. I'm sorry, and Bob.
I'll be in the back with Ichabod.
Okay.
Joking. Yeah, I don't care if anyone else hears this, but I don't really want the girls to hear it.
Okay. As you kind of pull her away.
Juliana,
you're gonna tell me a secret.
You're a good leader. You had your girls working as a team. You've done great. I think you have some areas to improve on. If you stick with me, I can help you be a fantastic leader.
She thinks about it. I'll take you up on that. I'd say any man who's grown as tall as you has something worth saying. As you guys trek north, just where you came down, the goat path, rough going, and then it gets rougher. You get into the crag. These are places that you actually have to help each other up, or at least some of you do. The girls definitely need a little bit of help. They are extremely scrappy, parkoury. They take risks they probably should not take, but somehow luck is on their side. They'll jump from this rock to that rock, and there's like a place that would easily break both of their legs.
And I'm helping
Emerdell?
Emma.
As you do, there's a couple moments where you help Emma up. And yeah, you are not rocked, but it's coming close at places. As the sun starts to go down, it's definitely evening, maybe we'll say 6 o'clock. So you've traveled for a couple hours. Even though you're well traveled, you've been traveling all day and starting to get a little bit fatigued. The terrain has gotten cold, or I should say it's rough, and the climate is cold. You've gotten into the fog. The condensation is all over you, kind of a chill. And you can see the outcroppings of these high foothills going. Off to the north, you see the wild foothills called the Labyrinth of Reach. Just greens and dark blues, the northern country. You start heading east. Over the hill, far to the east, towering black mountains. Those of you that know something about environment, geology, etc., might glean something about what is over there, but it's literally black mountains, and the clouds are kind of swirling around. Every so often, some lightning, miles and miles and miles away. Cursewood will even turn back and say, "Don't worry, we're not going there," as all the girls are like, backed up. At this point, you have a choice. You can continue on into the evening, or you can make camp. You're all very well traveled. You all kind of know this. So
I think we make camp. We got a lot of people. Build a fire, make a camp. I mean, I don't need a fire.
The girls are obviously nervous being up here. Cursewood is wanting to continue. Ichabod is also nervous as he's sort of looking around and it's dark.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
It's dangerous.
I think we make camp. We've had a long day.
Yeah.
Over
As the girls
cracks
start
and crevice.
helping out, it's great. They make camp for you. As they work as a team, you got a couple fires going. You'll find a little inlet. It's not a camp per se, but I don't know what this is called, like a little outcropping you can be underneath. And you have a massive spread of people.
Cool. So I do want to, while this is going on, I do want to kind of create some rapport with them. I don't know if I really need a role or bit of trait, but I can use my militaristic trait and my mentoring skill to kind of help them out to improve their thing.
Yeah.
So this would be a role play action. Okay.
Same here.
And I'm gonna do nada.
Do nada. And Connor, are you also taking role play?
Yeah, I want to continue with what I started with. Was it Juliana?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bob, you are autopilot. Okay.
Autopilot, do not. Just tap my
As
toe, listening to good old Ichabod.
Oh my God! As Ichabod is sitting there playing his guitar, Jesus, you'll get an XP. Fine. So you two that are taking the role play actions on you. What are you doing? And what traits are you spinning?
Great. So it's in two parts. It's build a rapport. I want to try and get them on our side. If we can get the leader on our side, then we can control the group. So we'll do that by emphasizing my obsession with piety, or the perception of piety. So that give me 1 success. Teaching, I want to teach them how to ambush properly. So it's kind of like 2 sides. I don't know if you want to do 2 separate rolls or 1 roll, whatever. And as far as traits are concerned, I'm gonna have to make up another trait.
Indeed.
I'll make up my 5th one.
So think on the trait, and we'll do Clem really quick. Clem, what's the trait you're
Yeah, charismatic. Trait will be charismatic.
Okay. We'll deal with Connor in just a moment, and because Clem's action is very straightforward.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to use my militaristic trait and my mentoring skill to build rapport. I'll let Juliana know, like, this is how you help people do better, and then go around the camp, be like, and as all the girls are working, tell them, oh, this is good, but if you did it this way, it'd be a little better. You're doing great.
Yeah,
and,
I love it. So we'll see about how well you do. So the more successes you have, the more of them really start taking on to it. So go ahead and roll. This is likely going to be an animus or a mens. It's going to be up to you how you're flavoring that.
Yeah, I'll use animus.
Okay. So go ahead and do it.
So it'll be 3 successes.
Nice. With 3 successes, you can tell that the 3 most capable are really paying attention. A few of the younger ones, or a few of the more scrappy ones, are like, whatever. But you're starting to teach them, and maybe like they tie the knot the wrong way, and you show them the right way, and hey, help her out, that kind of thing. As Juliana's kind of sitting there watching, a little bit later in the evening, Connor, you start making good on. It's like that scene in Lord of the Rings where instead of teaching them how to use a sword, the hobbits, you're teaching them how to ambush and some tactics. So go ahead and what's the trait, and we'll have you make a roll.
So the trait is charismatic, because it's not so much getting them to hear what I'm saying, it's getting them to listen, especially Juliana, so that I want to just create a bond. And teaching is a skill, so that's 2 successes. The other part of it is I want to build a rapport where she can trust me, because so far I've been a man of my word, and the upright gentleman, so to speak, and use that to try and build up that rapport, so that the ulterior motive to the training is getting an ally within this group. So, would mens or animus be the one that would roll? I would prefer to use mens, because I'm trying to think tactically, but I'm not sure what the difference would be. Eh?
So the difference is what you would make it. Animus is more of, it is a charismatic, you have a way with words, they like you. Mens would be, you're making sense.
I'll go with animus, even though I've only got one dice. But I've got 3 successes from teaching and piety.
Yeah.
So
good.
And I got a 6, so yeah, that's 4 successes.
Okay, so which one of these girls do you want to be an ally?
Juliana had the one with the rifle, and so far she's been the one that's been the leader.
Okay, so
or the forerunner.
This is what you guys have. This is not yet in the source book, but this is an idea. It's directly lifted from Dreadlore and the way I run games. With your NPCs, there's 3 kinds of NPCs. You have extras, which are just people in the world. Okay. You've got notable NPCs, which they have names and they matter in so much as they serve a function. So most of these girls of the girl rabble you have, which you need to name your group, by the way, Clem. Right now they're girl rabble, or rabble. They're all notables. So they matter in so much as what they are. The third kind is a narrative NPC. Right now, Ichabod and Cursewood are narrative NPCs. These are characters that their actions actually affect the plot. So the notables, they can affect in their different ways, but a narrative NPC, their actions actually kind of matter. They can take the limelight a little bit. So right now, Juliana is a narrative NPC. She's on your side, okay? Because she likes you. And she can do whatever she wants, but she's considered an ally. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
you can ask all the girls to do stuff. Might have to convince them. Juliana is acting more like a team member, okay? They can still betray you, but
Right.
it's a narrative NPC. And Dreadlore has more rules, but we're not going to deal with those. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. Now the effect that Clem is going to have. Pretty much the girls just work better together. They're more competent, as opposed to, hey, they're going to do stuff the MacGyver way. That's just sort of like, you know, they do it once and it breaks apart. They're a little bit more strategic. They're just more intelligent in how they act as a group. And what that'll mean for you all is, let's say you want them to do something strategically, can like lower the threshold, that kind of stuff. Okay.
Does that improve like their overall feelings toward us
Yes.
also?
It's more of a cohesion is the idea. They're less, like they're not just going to run, right?
Mm.
So if you guys had done this a different way, you'd wake up and they'd be gone, right? They're not going to be gone.
Right.
Or they would have, cut our throats while we're
Yeah,
sleeping.
depending on what you did.
Speaking of which, I think
Right.
we should take watch, each of us.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Who takes watch? So it's very late now. It's nighttime. The stars are out. At this point in the ages of Craster, you're in the Age of Progeny, early. So there are still stars in the sky. They have yet to burn out. You see 3 moons. So Craster has 3 moons at this time. One is Ariane, one is Name, and one is Hester. This will matter in the lore eventually, but it doesn't right now. I just want to do some foreshadowing. Ariane is purple and quite large. She's going down the horizon. So she's near the horizon. Following her, chasing after her, is Name, her estranged lover. It's a bluish moon. Way off to the south, just above the horizon, just peeking up, is this yellow moon of Hester. Hester doesn't come around very often, but when she does, this moon, it's sort of like an astrological, it portends, fortune, potentially false fortune, prophecy, that kind of stuff. When all 3 moons are in the sky, people that believe in that shit think it means something. So you all see that. Action's on you.
I'm sleeping already. When I saw everybody doing all this work, I just went, I'm out.
His eyes are still open though. He's like,
Yeah, you think I'm awake. You think I'm paying attention, but I'm not.
Thunder,
I'll
my
take
friend.
first watch.
The moons are a sign. 3 moons, 3 watches. You take first, I'll take second, and Bob Baker will take third.
Sure. Yep.
you
that's
see his
fine.
eyes looking at you. It seems like he totally heard what you said. You get an XP, Clem. I love that. As first watch goes, the girls stay up in turns. Like 2 or 3 of them will stay up. They are used to being out and on their own, so they'll stay with you. As Connor, maybe they kind of like show you how they do the little blade of grass thing where they're like, wee, the little games they do. Telling you stories about what they've done, rambling around. They are exactly what you think they are. They're lost boys, lost girls.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
all from Reach, pretty similar. They'll kind of bicker amongst each other. Those that have certain clans names and such. Do you want to talk to them in any way, or are you just kind of hanging out?
No, just get to know them. Learn from them what they know of this area. Have they heard rumors of a mysterious Theurgic person who that's who we're after, or that sort of thing?
As you kind of talk to them, they don't know much. One of them will pipe up though. It'll be Anna, who was the one that ran off.
Yeah.
She's got black hair, straight black hair, just like a rat tail that goes down her back. As she says, well, everyone knows that you shouldn't stay in the Northeast like we're doing now. Everyone knows that it's dangerous up here. Okay?
Why?
The wives' tales and such. Well, because there's monsters, of course. Everyone knows there's monsters in these hills. As she's like 13 and precocious.
Okay.
Some people say the mountain men are in these hills.
Now, out of character, do I know anything about mountain men being a bit of a cartographer and rambler?
Well, that would be the roleplay action.
Okay.
And you would
I
drop a
shall
trait.
do that.
Or,
Yep.
okay, hit it.
No. What were you saying?
No. Or just be a random roll to be like, hey, do I know it? So you get the choice. You can say, oh, I do know something. I bid a trait. I do know it. Or, hey, do I know it? And you just roll, and it's a random thing.
No, I'll role play it.
Okay.
I'll bid Rambler, and just try and decipher or translate
So,
academic
Rambler,
knowledge that I have. So
A mountain man.
men's.
Go ahead and roll.
So yeah,
Immediately, you
5
know,
and
the mountain men are giants. They are men the size
okay.
of mountains.
And are they real, or are they just superstition?
So throw down your men's.
I got 2 successes on the men's.
So if you didn't guess, of course they're real.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're definitely real. You know, they're wives' tales, but there's a lot of good research you've done. They're real. Are they as big as mountains? No, but they're big. Probably 15, 20 feet tall.
All right. Okay. Well, that's big enough.
Yeah, they're big boys.
Okay.
Everyone knows that the mountain men are up here, and as well, they say things like, you know, cursed beings that turn into beasts and suck your brains out. The other girls are like, ooh, as you can tell, Anna's kind of scaring them on purpose. Oh yeah, and if you steal from your elders, they suck more than your brains out.
Yep.
They eat all your toes.
I'll join in on this and start telling them other stories that I've picked up along the way.
What do you say?
Because these are kids, really, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, just obviously kids who are living adult lives, suffering adult lives. So just give them a bit of entertainment around the campfire.
As you do. Your watch passes. As Clem, you wake up. Maybe one of the girls kind of pushes you. And you guys switch it out. Glenn, the action's on you.
Let's see. So, do I take it they kind of set their own watch roster?
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 of them. Usually an older one and then a couple. Some of them doze off while they're on watch, so they try to get multiples at the same time.
Right, smart. Yeah, so I'll get whoever's around, whoever's up. Does Juliana happen to be awake?
Let's see. Tell me high or low.
High.
She is awake.
Okay. That was just for my future reference. But anyway, yeah, I'll have them gather around, and I'll tell them the stories of, my father being murdered and me trying to take it back and losing armies and all this.
As they're like captivated.
Right.
Okay. As you're going, the night is wearing on. Hester is pretty high in the sky. Ariana has gone all the way down. Name is on the horizon. Still just a black of night. And you see the stars, moving. You can see some of the constellations of the gods. Avakeen, the Valkyrie, the champion war and goddess of love, champion of the progeny of Craster. Supposedly, Avakeen was the one that convinced the other 7 gods that the progeny were worth saving. And yeah, so she's going high in the sky, and maybe there's some conversation about that. As we'll have a roll. Roll.
Yeah, I should probably tie that into like my people's beliefs.
Do it.
And what the constellations are different and all that, and kind of work those into the stories.
So what's we'll see which deity you have, because I know you don't know out of game what they are.
Right.
If you had to describe maybe a couple different traits of the deity, what would it be? Like the personality. Like intellectual, more passionate.
I think more down to earth, more relatable to the common person.
Yep.
And humble about their power. But very powerful. Like I'm kind of thinking like Thor.
Okay.
But not necessarily.
So there's a couple.
Quick to rage. Sorry.
There's a couple that might be on your radar. One is the goddess of death, which is she is known as the cowl, or just her. People don't say death; they refer to her. So go to her means go to hell. The cowl is known for wisdom, patience. She does not know the future. She only knows the common sense and has a lot of compassion for living things, right? So there's that. She's also she's death. You've also got the old man's song. This is the man who was made immortal. So through his great deeds and following what's called the Pilgrim's Path, he achieved apotheosis. Song is kind of a little bit of a trickster, but it's all fun and games. He's charismatic. He remembers what it's like to be alive and mortal, and he's considered the most benevolent of the Brilliant Octet. Extreme wisdom and intellect and craftiness would be him. Avakeen is a warrior, proud, believes in what's right. So there's a few.
And you want me to like choose a patron, or because these are all from the same pantheon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the cowl. That fits my obsession with death.
Yeah, there you go.
And she's very much the opposite of Clem's personality.
Mm. And the cowl is interesting too because people worship her in very, very different ways. Some of her are death cultists, right? And they go full death cult. Others, it's much more like Hinduism type, circle of life, peaceful, that kind of thing. And it's pretty much well known that the cow doesn't like to be worshipped, right? Okay, very cool. As the night wears on, it is the darkest part of the night. Make a corpus roll.
Yep. One success.
As you have the girls around you, Juliana as well, she'll be sitting there listening to you talking about stories and of your past. As Juliana's eating it up, she was already eating it up with Connor, and now you're just solidifying the fact that she wants to be like you guys. As
Fantastic.
she's listening, as you see one of the younger girls turn, and Juliana immediately turns too. And that's when you hear the noise. Juliana says, "Someone's coming. Up the way." Action's on you.
Okay, I'll turn to one of the girls, one of the smallest ones.
Okay.
That's there, the smallest one that's there. And I'll get kind of close. You go sneak over and you go sneak over and see if you can see what that is.
You're gonna get an accent by the
Be
end.
quiet.
So this is Farfally, or just Lee. She's got big old brown eyes, and she's this diminutive girl. She's like 8. She's like, "I'm 8." She rodents her way off to take a gander. As you wait a little bit, every so often you hear maybe a footfall or like a branch kind of getting closer. And a few moments later, you hear a very natural sound, nocturnal animal. We'll call it an owl, like, "Ooh," from Farfally. As she comes back, "I can't see a thing. It's dark as hell. But there's a man coming this way, I think. He's got a hood up and a cane. And he looked... It could be the cowl, the way you were talking about it. It looks like he had a crook."
She doesn't take the form of a man and walk like this. And if she did, there's nothing we could do about it. Go and wake the other girls and have them be very, very quiet.
As they start to do so, one walks over to the dragon, looks down at him. "Oh, he's awake." Walks over him. As they wake up. As they wake up, Connor. You see the Buteau like propped up. He's like holding, like, his eyes are open. Just dreaming of
Dreaming of large reptiles. Dinosaur dreams.
Seemingly everyone is up.
What's going on? I'll say it quietly.
As one of the girls says, it'll be Farfally, as she'll say, "So the big man, we heard something, and death herself is probably coming this way, and there's nothing we can do about it."
Right. Okay. Death. Well, let's... Well, I'd rather be standing up.
She's a man too. Oh, fucking Christ! As she like walks away.
Right. I shall get up, have a look around, head over towards...
Extremely dark. The fire is like really, really low. It's just coals, just enough to heat around you guys. and you go past Bob, who
I'm kicking Bob.
his
I'm
eyes are
I'm just
open, but he's not
kicking
moving
Bob.
at all. As Bob, you wake up.
Bob, wake up. You're about to die. Death is coming for you and your eating
shit.
habits.
Oh. Too much cholesterol.
All right,
What do I do?
you're all
Where do I go?
you're all in you're in this flat space with to the right of you where that the mountain sort of is, and that outcropping you were underneath. The path continues off to the front and down, and coming up just barely you can see the outline of someone hooded with a crook, about man-sized, slowly negotiating this difficult path. No light at all.
Where's Cursewood? Is he awake?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Cursewood?
He's like putting his shit up.
Yeah. Cursewood,
Yeah.
does that look like your friend?
He goes over quietly. I can't see him. Is he? Can you see in the dark?
I can. I think.
As slow
Is there no branches? Is there no branches around that we could just use as torches?
Yeah, you're in the woods.
I'm
Just
pretty
pick
sure
up
that I can't. I can
dry
actually see
branch.
in the dark. I think
Yeah,
that
if you're
is
Buto, you absolutely can see in the dark. You have infravision. You can see heat.
infravision. I can see out. I can't really sneak though. I mean, they put the grease on, but I'm kind of loud.
As
But I'll
you
go
want the
talk
girls
to
to make a
whoever.
torch. So if you want to make torches, make torches. And what do you
Hold
want with your reptile eyes?
I'll just. Which way is he at? Now I'll just kind of go in that direction a little bit.
Clem, what were you saying?
I was going to say, before we do all that, let's all hide from him, and then we can have Ichabod play a soft tune and see if we can lure him over here.
Good idea. It calls the
So you guys
demons.
hide? And you see Ichabod. What should I play?
Soft and luring like a siren.
As he starts playing, you know, something like, I just made this up. As coming up the hill, Bob, you see Hood really low, walking sort of like shambling from side to side, you know, with a protracted gait, kind of like an older person. The crook, you know, is a little bit uneasy as you see a weathered hand, long nails, this ratty hair kind of coming down, maybe an old man. As he stops with the music, slowly looks up, and you see his face. Just this weathered, like has been in the wild for a really long time, old man, crooked nose, scraggly beard with like some leaves and stuff in it, eyes that to you seem black, and his trappings and stuff are like adventuring type things, as in traveling, I should say, not adventuring. On his side, you see that there's a short sword, like under his cloak. Beyond that, just a few satchels and such for carrying, as he slowly comes up and just over the lip, hello, you hear in the common tongue. Who's there?
Say anything. Kind of scary sound.
Yeah, I think we
I
should be
can
quiet.
smell you.
Lift the torch up and move towards them.
Oh, gods be with us. Sibylline, as you see standing before you, an old codger. Connor, make a men's roll as you see his face with the light. White hair, some black in there. One success. Do you see his
Unless
eyes?
does Hawkshaw give me anything? Being able to spot. Yep.
This is your ability?
Yep.
Yeah. With your ability, you're able to not just see what I was going to tell you, but
Sorry.
so what you actually do see is his eyes like dilated as fuck. And his skin is like albino skin, like just white, like no color whatsoever. With Hawkshaw, you'll know why. This is a tall tale sign of those that are in the know of this guy is an alchemist who likely at least was a mystic of 12 and 7. So think of The Witcher. They take a bunch of alchemical shit and it changes their body.
Okay.
So black eyes, the nails, completely white skin, looks like a ghost. Older man. He's a Dinah. Whether he's Sibylline or not, it's kind of hard to tell. Oh! He blinks at you. Who are you in these mountains? You know you shouldn't be here.
My name is Connor Carlef, and we are just traveling through.
Who's we?
My companions.
I'm
And
his
who are you?
companion lizard.
Oh, Christ.
No reason to fear, man. All you dinner look the same to me.
He kind of takes a step back.
Yeah, so at this point, I'll take a bundle of like small sticks and throw it on the fire so that it lights up.
As he sees a gaggle of girls and these 3 dudes. Oh, you're all up here.
Welcome, traveler. Come and sit by our fire.
You'll get an XP. As he, good reference. As he, come and stay a while and listen. As he walks up there, rather boldly, old manly. He doesn't seem scared, just startled. As he sits down on his haunches, firelight playing along him, he pulls the hood off. You see he's bald on top, just the long hair is stringy and all around. Think Dr. Emmett Brown, but like he's bald. Gnarled nose. He's looking around. All the girls are hiding behind you guys, but sort of like poking their heads out. Juliana is sort of like trying to brave a little bit as he stares at you with these pools of black. It's dangerous in this mountain, especially at night. And he'll look up, the starlight sparkling in his black eyes.
That's why we have all these young children to protect us.
Silence.
Bob, we need to work. We need to work on so many things. Just, yes.
Why have you come here? My name is Lysander. Why have you
Cursewood,
come here?
is that you? Is it your turn to talk? Is it
We
your
come
guy,
seeking
man?
wisdom.
Let me make a real quick note here. Cursewood is in the back as he kind of pokes his head out. Yes? Lysander kind of looks. Yes, do you need my services?
Is this your guy? This is the guy that we're supposed to give some stuff, and
No.
he can tell us where the magic mountain or whatever that is.
Cursewood is sort of silent for a second. No, that's not him.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
oh. Do you know where the magic mountain is, sir?
Magic Mountain. There are many mountains that have magicka and
The Eye of God.
His slow gaze moves to you. You have come to seek out Gelgal. He kind of stands, has a little bit of a Gandalf-y look to him. As he stands there, puts his shoulders back as much as he can. He's nowhere near as tall as the rest of you. Maybe 5'7". But there's a commanding presence. Hear me now, travelers and young girls. Turn back. Do not go this way. Do not seek the counsel of Gelgal, the fallen. Gelgal the mad. It will be likely to your ruin.
Pretty convincing argument. Pretty convincing. Well, we seek only audience, for we have been tasked with seeking knowledge on the Theurgic.
Yes.
If you can help us with that, then we can turn back and leave certain doom
You
for
hear
one day.
Kirkwood, No, we can't turn back as he runs forward. Lysander says, I know you.
Once Cursewood runs forward, I'm going to step back so that I'm behind him. So I don't trust him. I'm keeping an eye on him. So I
Yes.
just want to be step back.
You sort of strategically
over.
move. As I won't,
Yeah.
I won't NPC with myself, but I'll give you the cliff notes real quick. As Kirstwood says, no, we have to see Gelgal. He's the only one who knows the location of Oculo Dio. And you know it, old man. They have a little bit of a back and forth. It's pretty obvious that Lysander, his position is obvious. Don't go to Gelgal. It's a bad idea. Kirstwood knows about Lysander. They know each other. And they're at complete opposing ideas.
Cursewood, why must we go?
Because he's the only one. He turns to you, turns around. His back is to Lysander. The fire's lighting him up with the weird shadows and everything. He's the only one who knows where the mountain is. You hear Lysander. You don't know that. He'll turn. He turns back to you. Gelgal knows. He's old enough.
How do you know he knows?
There's sort of a silence.
How do you know he knows that he knows that he knows he knows? Who knows
More
what he knows?
More silence. Clem, do you have anything to say?
Not really. I'll just watch the things, and if once the argument gets heated, I will kind of stand up and make sure I'm there to keep them apart.
As Ichabod will be back there with you, Clem. Ichabod will say, he's stopped playing. He'll say, well, and he says it's just the Clem. He says, well, if the stories are true, there is a great cursed evil in these mountains that's been around for hundreds of years. And if these two know him, it's likely that he knew where the mountain was. Maybe even saw it himself. As Kirstwood is essentially saying something along the same lines. Again, I'm not going to roleplay with myself. Lysander and Kirstwood kind of go back and forth. Kirstwood says, old man, you left the order, and you have no right to stop us. As Lysander will talk to you all after a moment, turning away from Kirstwood. He is right. I have no authority to stop you, but I've taken it upon myself to warn travelers.
What are you doing out here by yourself? I mean, it is dangerous and all. It seems kind of confusing. You don't look menacing, per se.
He kind of smiles a little bit. I have one or two tricks up my sleeve,
I'm sure you do.
but
I
I
have
am...
grease on my sleeves.
He nods. I am exiled from the Order of the Mystics of 12 and 7. When you have taken, he like looks at his hands. When you have changed so far, he just kind of throws his hands up. As you see, he does look kind of monstrous.
Changing into what?
The elixirs we take, we imbibe, which you hear Kirschwood, which you took too much of. They change you. And eventually, you will go mad. Gelgal is one of these who went too far.
Well, we are staying here the night. If you wish to stay with us, more than happy to exchange stories, but we would need to discuss this. We are in an impasse otherwise.
Yeah, I think our plan is to go because the queen told us we're supposed to do this, and then she's got favors.
The queen.
Well,
Either they're the queen or the king. They are conquerors. To his stiff, he's over here. They are conquerors. If left up to their own devices, one day, as he sort of looks out across the land, they will conquer all of this DaLune. And then what?
well, shouldn't somebody stop the earthquakes, the cracking of the world?
Stop the earthquaking. Are you a god?
No.
Kind of like,
Yes, I am a god of lizards.
sort of rolls his eyes. Such is the thing. All things die. Good Zunth Sputo. Even the gods. Even this world.
Shouldn't we try to make it last a little longer? For the children.
Yeah, for us! He just shakes his head and puts his hood back on.
What time of night is it?
Oh, it's late as fuck. It's like a couple hours before morning.
Yeah, it's probably what, 2 or 3, I would imagine.
I'm going to sit down. I'm just going to sit down by the fire and gesture for everyone
Well,
to either
everybody
go to sleep or sit around the fire and we can discuss this further. I'll be the host.
Oh, you should get some sleep. It's my turn to watch everyone.
Gelgal is very dangerous. It's a wild creature, no longer mortal. And as for hundreds of years, try maybe 1,000 years. Cursed wood, you fool. He turns. Gelgal is a vampire. You should be very careful if you go to see him. As he stands, I have told you too much already. But seeing as you will likely go anyway, you should be warned. As he starts to leave, he's still talking like an old man.
Stay, please stay.
Kind of turns. I will stay for a while.
Yes.
But my exile from others is also of my own doing. As he kind of sits.
Emma,
Actions on you guys.
get this man a cup of tea. Oh, I'm sorry, your foot. I mean, Anna, get this man a cup of tea.
Gives him some tea. I made this one myself. I made it out of roots and dandelions and grass. As he's like, thanks.
If
They
if only the gods can stop the earthquakes, what of the machinery deep beneath the ground? The machinery deep beneath the ground, not the thing that's
So-
causing the earthquakes?
This will need rounds. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So this will be a role play action.
Yep.
Which means, remember, when you do role play, you get that XP.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you bid?
Nice. Come on then. Let's make up another trait.
what is the current danger level?
Trait as in
Right now, you're about to go to 3. No, you're at 2. Because role play does not increase it.
curious will be another trait. So using curious as my trait, I shall bid to go up for relevant information on why we've been sent out. So, if only gods could stop the earthquakes, why not master the machinery beneath the ground? Do we need to be gods to do that?
Roll Animus. We'll say threshold is, since he was already trying to leave, we'll say the threshold's pretty hard to get stuff out of him. So 2.
Right. Okay. Well, I've only got one
Remember
dice
your
if it's
obsession?
animus.
Your skill and your bond can all add
Well-
if you can make it apply.
Skill is teaching, and this is learning, so it's not relevant. Obsession is piety, so that's not relevant. Bond is clim, that's not relevant, and I can't succeed if it's.
Okay. So degrees of success and failure. As you say this, you see Lysander kind of just shake his head. You can tell he's had this conversation so many times. This is an old argument. Likely one of the reasons he was kicked out of the Mystics of 12 and 7. He has a certain belief, and it's not about logic, it's about belief. As he just sort of shakes his head.
Can I? Cool.
I want to aid him, and I'll bid code switching to activate role play. And I'll be like, sir, we care about the world. We want it to live. I give you this magic fire. And I hand him the Draco fire and say, if
And
you
the
could
Gatorade?
just get
Such an
the
asshole.
Gatorade.
The one that's gonna explode.
If you can help us on this mission, we can give you magic trinkets like this to aid you on your journey of warning.
As he
All I
take it. Go on.
Or Lysander, let's consider another possibility. We've been sent here by the King and Queen to seek out Theurgic. If this is a fool's quest, and all attempts to control the machinery is futile, you need to tell us, you need to convince us so that we can go back and convince the King and Queen to not come to this land. Because if we return home with the information that we've got, their conquest will move into this land.
As the way that aiding works is it essentially gives you a reroll, which doesn't help you because you can't make the roll. But
Yeah, I could roll. I'll roll the die, but it just means if I need 2 successes, I can only ever get 1 anyway.
Right. So what it'll say is
Yeah.
it will drop the threshold to 1 since you're making more sense and
Okay.
giving him gifts and that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I get 1 success then.
Okay. As he huffs, as your Myroshi friend knows, as he points at Clem, the Theurgic in DaLune is not well understood. You speak of the world machines. And yes, some of them have started to fail. They need maintenance. And they can slow the dissolution of Craster. It is true. It is true. And perhaps there is something that could stop it entirely. But the pursuit has caused so much strife as he'll turn and look over his shoulder toward the far east where the dark mountains are. And Calgary. This cursed land, Calgary, is only one example of what happens. He just kind of shakes his head. What do you wish to know?
We've been sent out to seek knowledge.
You will find
Even
it with Gilgal. But be warned. And perhaps he does know where Oculo de Dio is. Be warned, he is dangerous. Will exact a toll.
While he's speaking, I want to glance over to... Well, while he's speaking about this vampire, I want to glance over to Cursewood, see what his reactions are, especially when he says there will be a payment, because kind of dawning on me as to why he's quite happy for the women to go along.
You don't need to roll anything. As you turn and look at him, and it starts to make sense.
Yeah. Okay. I look to Glim, and then kind of give him the stare of, oh, like, have you noticed? Has it clicked with you as well?
I'm gonna nod back.
Okay.
Ichabod starts to play a little bit.
Yeah.
As Lysander will old man himself up, he puts the Gatorade vial down. Thank you for the gift. The offering is what matters. As for me, I carry only what I need.
Does Connor or does Clem need to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Clem, since we're in rounds, you have one action to drop. What do you do?
I got a rules question first.
Hit it.
Do we get any of our traits back or moments back from sleeping?
No. You only get it from sit back.
Okay, then I'm gonna sit back.
Now, you do get wounds. You do heal wounds when you rest and through roleplay. Like, if you take care of yourself, you can get a wound back and do actual healing. But moments and traits are sit back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sit back then.
Okay. As you sit back, go ahead and roll Animus. You get the +1 success. And remember, it's a roll, so skill, obsession, bond, any of that can apply. As you are now at cursed 3.
Yeah. Can I do the?
No.
Oh.
You've already gone.
I would like to. No, I was gonna resolve. Can I resolve?
Oh, yeah, you can. But before you do, Lysander stands up. I leave you now. Hester, he looks up, bright. The 2 moons are gone. Hester is alone in the sky. Hester is alone in the sky, which will reveal secrets, but ill portend. Go ahead and resolve.
Oh, I'm gonna say that the Gatorade fails at this moment, and this it really starts to flame up in a huge way. Because it was like a whole.
Are you guys cool with the Gatorade failing? And Dracofear exploding all over your campsite?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it starts off with like a little spray that starts like shooting around the camp.
Mm-mm. No, it doesn't. It's
Oh.
Dracopyr. It blows up.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like explosive.
Oh,
Well, it is
yeah.
Murphy's Law. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a,
It's
a Molotov cocktail.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. It's not dynamite. Like it's not going to explode and blow up the mountain. But yeah, it's like a Molotov cocktail of purple fire. So you guys cool with that? You all have to agree basically on the resolve.
Is this rules like out of character rules? Would not resolving the conflict therefore be best decided by you, the arbiter? I know it takes the
So-
fun out of it slightly because
Right.
the players come up with
So-
the imagination there.
So this is the deal. Ken is an agent of chaos. That's the reason that's happening. Okay, he's just like making shit happen. Whichever so often you have a player like that. The idea of the rule, the mechanic is, the players get to choose their own medicine. So if you know the curse is quite high, you can be like, okay, well, this is how we want it to go down. You have the narrative control to make that happen.
I would rather
Otherwise,
have-
the arbiter. Otherwise, the arbiter does choose.
I would
But
rather
the
have
ar-
that explode than a stone giant come in and like try to kill us.
the
So if I was to offer an alternative, does that
yeah,
mean
you
we
guys
can?
have to decide.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, because my
Sure.
so I'm not sure if this would work then, but I think it's more relevant and appropriate than a Molotov erupting in the middle of a campfire. Is the fact that me, Clem, Bob, and any of the smart kids, young women present here, will now know that the guy who's leading us here is leading us to be exchanged as blood and fodder to the ancient vampire. So the resolution is we've come all this way, and some of us are going to have to die. And the git who's actually led us here, but yeah, he's tricked us. I don't think anyone now can trust him. I certainly can't. And if
So-
we could play it right,
So that's just the plot. That's not
Right.
the resolution of the curse,
Yeah.
right?
right? No, that's right. I just wasn't sure because it just means that like previously, the resolution was, someone getting knocked over so that that person becomes an enemy or potentially enemy
Can
and that
be,
sort of
it
thing.
Can be. It can
Can't
be
be
that.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
But at this level,
It's-
it's too
Yeah, you could-
trivial.
You could easily say, instead of something like this, you could say, oh, it starts to rain and lightning, and the road is extremely dangerous, and you could fall off and die. That could be a resolution to the curse, right? Or it could be
Yeah.
a multitude of other things.
Yeah.
Right?
I a part of the reason I'm choosing this is so it's just not on me when this happens.
Yeah, I know. Will is aware you're cheating.
Well, I don't know that. I was just giving him a gift. I was giving a.
That's
I
called
was. I was-
metagaming. That is actually metagaming. But yeah. Okay, so
But you know, I don't know
we,
that
we,
it's
we,
gonna fail.
we need an answer because we're running out of time. So
Yeah.
what are you guys gonna do? How are you gonna resolve the curse? Or do you want me to roll?
I'm okay with the fire
I would-
going off.
It explodes. Boom! All right,
But
so
because
you're
I'm-
all around.
Just
Doesn't matter.
because I'm the closest
it.
to it, I would like to say that I block a lot of the damage to the children
Okay.
and the.
Sure, you'll block the kids. All right, you take 6 damage as this fire explodes on you. Everyone who else is around, you take 4 damage, unless you're far enough back, and then you take 2. As Alchemist fire explodes, Lysander is standing right there. Alchemist fire explodes on him. He's blown back down the hill. Whoop, 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 whoop. You see this purple flame. Whoop, whoop, whoop. His staff flies off down the hill. You hear, "Oh!" That happens. Girls scream, "Ah!" Okay, here's how Alchemist fire works. It's really hard to put out. So, you're all on fire. we're in rounds. What are y'all doing?
Ripping my clothes off because it's the
Yeah.
clothes that's going to be on fire.
So we're going to call that a take charge. So what's the trait you do?
Yeah. Is there a trait for stripping off?
Get naked. It could be aggressive. You could be angry. It could be calculating. Lots of different things.
Right,
How's that shape shown? You're screaming
Right,
wildly.
my last trait will be survivor.
Nice.
And I'm guessing
Okay.
this is corpus, or could I use men's? Because I'm
I'd say
instantly
corpus.
thinking it's the
No,
clothes
you can do
that's.
men's.
Right.
You can do men's.
Okay.
So
I
ahead and
will
throw
go for
down.
men's then.
So you need 2 successes to get your clothes off, or else it gets on your skin, and now your skin is on fire. Okay.
Yeah, I managed to get
Awesome.
that
As
amount
you
of trait.
strip down, so any armor you had on, it's gone. Goodbye. No armor. It's all fucking.
I'll also be, and as inappropriate as this is for a live stream, I'm gonna have to tell. God, I can't believe I'm gonna say this. The young women to strip off because they're gonna be on fire.
They're
yeah,
like fucking.
okay.
But they're kids, so they're like, fuck it. They're rolling around
Yeah.
that way anyway.
No, I'll.
Well,
Yeah.
I blocked most of the children from getting caught
You
on
did
fire, didn't
block most of them, but part of them they like
Yeah, but
rip off some of their stuff.
I? Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Bob? What are you doing? What's your action?
Well, I want to do nada.
You
I'm
mean
just
autopilot?
autopilot? It says do nada on my. I like do nada.
I know it does, but I haven't changed. You printed it. I can't change it with with magic, Ken.
And I don't know.
You gotta
That's
tell
what
me.
I want to do.
Okay, you're doing autopilot. All right. So you're gonna drop the cursed tally. Good move, Clem.
So I sat back, so I figured I was back talking to Ichabod.
So you'll
So
take 2 damage, then. Unless you're way in the back, and then you take none.
I'm probably close enough to take some.
Okay, so you take 2.
But that means that my armor's on fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I have to take charge and get it off.
All right.
I'll use
Well,
brute.
okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not mad or anything.
All right. But that's great because you guys have maintained your curse level. You're still at 3, which is good. As you start taking off, it won't be all of your armor. We'll say that it's you want it to be top part or bottom part, or the helmet.
Oh, with all the little girls around, let's do the top part.
Okay, so you take off the breastplate, whatever that is. So you still have armor on your head and armor on your legs if you had that. Which
Are you
matters for
sleeping in
targeting
armor?
shots.
Yeah, Clem probably does.
Okay.
I was on watch anyway. So.
Okay, so as that all happens, I forgot about Cursed Wood. Cursed Wood is on fire. Luckily, his robes are a little bit flame retardant, but they're not Dracofear retardant. As he's like, "Ah!" He throws off his robes. His hair is on fire, just gone. As he's like, putting his dirt in his hair and trying to get the fire out. As he'll take some damage. Totally bald now, just burned. Won't grow back. Grow back like this way. Right. We're resolving. That was the resolving of the curse. Oh no, we have to resolve the curse. That was resolved. So, are we going to resolve it? How? Or do you want to roll?
I think we resolve it.
Didn't we resolve it? It exploded, and this
We
is
did.
living
Did you
We
go
gotta
another
resolve
round?
it again. I think we should resolve it. I think you see the armor, starting to really catch fire. A lot of the leather and stuff like that is getting melted
Oh, you mean
away.
your armor?
Oh no, just all the armor. All the armor.
Okay. Are you guys cool with that?
Would an alternative resolution be the fact that the young girls have now just fled in panic?
That could
Oh,
make
yeah, you
sense
could do
too.
that.
They could run. Say
They
for
could
like
run.
one or two of them. Like Juliana would not run, for example.
And Lysander's just been blown up as well.
he's
All right.
he's in a bad way.
Yeah, he's gone.
Clem, what do you say?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I think
As
that's the girls run away.
let's find out how many the girls ran. So, Clem, roll me a d10, and that's how many fled. Could be like
4.
4? All right. So you have 6 of them are left. Juliana is there. Clem, you're the leader of them. You guys have a rapport. More than half of them stick by your side, but some of the younger ones, they just flee. All right. In the world, Cursewood has thrown off his robes as he's kicked him down the hill. The Dracofear and whatnot that was in his robes explodes down the hill. As he looks down, basically, he's just in his small clothes and his underclothes. He turns back, slow, looking at the dragon, his eyes wide. Get your armor off, you fool! As you will take damage unless you can get this shit off of you.
Well, I would have to take charge to do that.
It's true.
Well, I will take charge and rip my armor off with
Covered in grease.
brutal violence.
It's the Roman candle.
Just ripping, tearing everything off.
You rip it all off. Cool. All right. Other actions for Clem and Connor?
Autopilot.
It's good move.
Autopilot.
Oh.
Chase after Lysander.
Chase after Lysander. As Clem, autopilot, you'll be kicking the pieces of Bob's armor away as they're just immolating, turning into the sludge and whatnot. You just kick them all off, and then maybe throwing dust on him. Cursewood will be helping you, throwing dust on Bob. As you see, the dust does calm the flames, and they will go out if you can get enough on there. You are down to curse level 2, actually, with all that. As Connor, you're running down the hill. You can see because Lysander's on fire at the bottom of the hill, rolling around. Oh! Whoop, 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 whoop. Purple flames just rip it up as he's like, boof, boof, boof. All right, one more resolution. I'm going to say I'm going to roll randomly for this one, okay? Since we've had a few resolutions on this. That's a 3, and because you guys did autopilot, you dropped it to 2, so no curse. As boop, 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 boop. You catch up with them. What are you doing down there, Connor?
It'd be a mixture of stripping his clothes off and burying him in soil.
As you do, you put him out.
Bear in mind, I'm on 1 wound because I got hit by 4, so my 3 moments are gone, and I've got 1 wound as well.
All right, as you throw all the shit on him, you see he's dead. It's done. It's fucking done. On fire. His skin's all like rippled up. You see like his jawbone and shit.
Well, he won't be needing any of his surviving trinkets then.
His crook he threw.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Oh, I'll have that. Oh, that looks all right.
All right. So since you've taken a wound, you need to roll against slump. So this is a
Oh shit.
corpus roll. You have 1 wound, so the threshold is 1.
Got a 6. So that's 1.
You are fine. As you've taken a wound, you can feel it.
Yeah.
It's only applying in rounds. When you have at the end of a round, you have to, or I should say, at the top of the round, you have to make a slump roll. But
Okay.
you are wounded. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. We're in the world, out of the curse. Actions on you.
Has he
guys.
got anything worth salvaging?
Oh yeah, you can pick up like the bag. His robes actually were a little bit flame retardant,
Yoink.
but it was all over his. Yeah, as you start taking some of his stuff, and we'll get to that in a minute because we only have about 13 minutes left.
Yeah.
All right, the rest of you.
I'm gonna start gathering up my armor and pieces once the flames are out.
Gone. Your armor's destroyed.
Well, isn't it
Utterly
metal?
destroyed.
Like just the metal
Yeah, it's
parts.
melted.
Oh, it's melted. Oh, because it's Dragonfire melts metal.
Can
That's
melt
right. That's
stone.
right.
It can melt stone.
That's
Yeah.
good.
It's hot.
So
Yeah.
so
Utterly.
I'm kind of sad because I'm naked, and it's all like there's no under. There's just my scales and me hanging out.
Big ol' swinging dragon dick.
Yeah. Well, it's
Isn't it
it's
Poika?
funny. It's kind of smaller than you would expect it to be.
I didn't write that in the book. I didn't define what they have.
Because we could go either way. Like if I was by myself for a long period of time, I could make myself pregnant.
So, all right. What are you guys doing?
What a time for someone to join.
Yeah. I'm gonna check my armor, see if it's completely ruined too.
Only the pieces that you threw off. So we'll say it drops 1 moment.
Okay.
And you could repair it.
Well, I'm gonna go look around for anybody that's been hurt.
Actually, you took the brunt of it. None of the girls. Maybe they have like a few like scrapes, and they've like ripped off their sleeves if they needed to. But you took all that heat, quite literally. Ichabod is fine because he was far enough back. Cursewood is injured, but more just like lacerations and stuff.
Nice.
Purplish light burning from down below, and here it was a big plume. As the realization sits in with some of you, if anyone was watching, obviously there was a big signal flare that went up of purple Dracophere.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna start helping herd the girls, and make myself as big as possible. No, don't run away from me.
We'll say, since you guys did so much work to get that cohesion, like you really spent a lot of time, the 4 girls that ran away actually will slowly come back over the next like 20-30 minutes. Once it's sort of calmed down, they're just really scared. As they come back, maybe a couple of the girls went after them, so you have your group back.
Yeah, we should.
It doesn't. It seems a little ridiculous to have them just run.
Right. We should pack up and get out of here, I think.
Morning light begins. Okay, some of you are wounded. Are you going to try and do some sort of like dealing with the wounds, or sitting back, or how do you?
Yeah, I'll hit Connor with the med kit.
Okay.
Should I take charge to do that?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
One of you has healing salve.
Not me.
Not me.
Does anyone have it?
Oh yeah, I have it. Sorry, yeah. You can use it, sure.
Not saying you should use it, but it is really good stuff. Yeah, it has how many ever uses you have, and each use heals 1 wound.
Okay, yeah, it's got 7 uses.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go ahead
So
and
if
do
any of you
that.
have wounds, this would be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So he
Would it
applies
remove-
some of the healing stuff. So it actually,
Yeah.
it's alchemical in nature, but it hurts as it seals up the wound, like that 3rd degree burn that maybe got on you. And you see now there's just this scar, like a little pink scar. Okay. This is the last little bit of the scene before we end, but we're going to get to the next part. Daylight. You guys actually did get pretty much full nights of sleep, save for the last. It's like you woke up early and then blew up the wizard.
Sound damn full.
What are y'all doing?
Well, if we've scavenged the area and we've packed up, I think we should head forward and try to find this wizard fella anyway. Because
You mean Galgal, Kirstwood says.
yeah,
Lysander was a fool. He was a fool. He had access to him and all this knowledge, but he kept it for himself. It's one of the reasons he was sent into exile.
right. Okay, I just want to get the knowledge to the queen, and I think
Go on.
this is helpful. So we
As Kirstwood will
continue
start
on the
leading
path.
you guys down, you start moving.
Unless
We'll
there's
roll.
anything I should know.
I mean, in the daytime, the path is safer, and we should arrive there in the day.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Daytime vampires, you can tell because they
Not a-
sparkle.
He's not a vampire. That's a wives' tale. Okay. Connor, roll me, please, a D100.
90. God. 7.
97. Also roll me a D10, if you would.
D10.
Yep.
2.
That's ironic. All right, say 97. In Lysander's pouch, almost like what looks like a pocket watch, is there with a little chain. It opens up like a pocket watch would. However, on the inside, there's this flashing diode and clockwork that spins, seemingly in a rhythm, but it kind of changes. It is a piece of Theurgy. You have no idea what it does, of course. You also see 2 little baggies, cocaine, 2 little baggies of this black powder. As Kirstwood will look over, seeing you may be handling them, as he says, "Oh, that's apprentice's powder. It's a mild explosive. You can use that in that gun."
And if you throw it on the ground, you could throw it on the ground and disappear, like vanish.
Kirstwood's walking up. He kind of turns, shaking his head.
We'll
As you
blow up
guys-
the whole camp again.
As you guys start
I'll
up,
show him.
Go on.
No, I'll leave it. I mean, it's getting quite late. I don't want to drag stuff out.
Oh no, it's
Okay.
it's early. It's fine. This is the last moments to get you to the next part.
All right. I was just going to suggest showing the pocket watch with the flashing diode on the back to
Kirstwood. As he turns, he sees it. You show it to him. you're getting a pretty good feel for him. He wants it. As he says, oh, that's a relic of some sort.
Well, you're not having it. We need
Yeah, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it.
Good.
You're showing it to me.
Any idea what it does?
I'd have to tinker with
Yeah, it's going in. Once I put my cloak on, it's going in one of my hidden pockets, never to be seen by that scoundrel again.
As he continues up. You guys travel a good day. Rough terrain. It's slow going. The reptile and the Moroshi, you're having to wait a lot on these Dinna, okay? And the Artivok. They're just not as fast. They don't have as long as legs.
I would
You guys are
imagine
like
without all
downwards.
the armor, like I'm probably floating. Like
Yeah, and you're
It's-
moving pretty easily.
moving like a lizard would over anything, just without any encumbrance. I bet I could
As
carry
you-
that one girl. I bet I could carry
Emerald.
what's her name? Emma. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get to the scene, so we're gonna go over.
Yeah.
As you get to the outcropping, this will be Bob and Clem. You get there first, and obviously Emma is on Bob's back, hanging out. As you get to an outcropping, pretty high place, you're in the rambles of these foothills. Okay, 2 or 3 days in. It's midday. It's like 2 p.m. at this point. Sorry, you travel all day. It's my bad. It's like 6 p.m. So you have 2 or 3 hours left of light. The footpath is very steep going down, almost just not even a path. Easily slid down or fall, or to fall down into a creek, small creek, sharp up, and you see this cave. A rank smell is coming from it. There's bones all littered down the path. Detritus, deep cave that goes, into the earth. On the outside, 2 staves with skulls on them, hair that's grown off, candles and such all melted on the rocks, rotten fruit. As Clem, you realize this is an offering to the cow, to death. As Cursed Wood pops up slowly behind you, sweat everywhere. Connor, you're with him. You look, smelling this. Cursed Wood sighs, kind of slowly looking at you all. You can see that kind of guilt on his face. He won't take many of them. We should do this in the day. And that's where we're going to end.
Excellent.
Right. Yeah.
Did you guys,
Yeah.
how much XP do you have?
I think I
Um,
leveled up.
With the rolls, I've got 4 this session, so I'm up to 13.
Okay, so
Yeah, I've got
at
12.
12, you're at 12. So at 12, you cash out, you advance, and you can get, you can add 1 to your pool, your aspect dice, so you can increase your die. You can increase your die type of one of your aspects. Those are obviously good. You could gain a trait, although you can gain those in game. You can get a skill. You can gain a bond. So it's up to you. Aspects are probably where it is. You can gain an ability too.
Wait, what did we start off with? Was it 7 points?
I believe it's 7. Yeah, 7 points. Yeah, everything
then
is 1
we-
die and die, or sorry,
Yeah.
everything was 0 die, and then you had die 4 and everything.
So it starts off with D4, D4. Wait, hold on. So it starts off. So 0 is D4. So you'd spend 1 of your 7 points to bring it up to D6.
No. So instead of doing a translation like that, because while it makes sense, it makes sense to half the people, and it's extremely confusing to other people. I know this because in Dreadlore, that's what I do. There's ranks, and you times it by 2, and this whole bullshit. The way it works in this game is this: your pool is 0 when it starts, and you add points to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the number
yep.
you get, that's
Yep.
the die type, or that's the dice you have, the number of dice.
Yeah.
Dice start at D4.
But does the die type start off at... Yeah.
D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. Yeah.
Okay.
So you just boost
So,
the die.
D6.
each time.
Right, because I'm thinking I mustn't have bought an aspect.
So for your
When
brain,
we-
it would be everything. All your die types are at 1, and you're adding 1, and so you would multiply it by
Yeah.
2, and that's your die type. So if you had
Okay.
3 ranks, it would be. I'm sorry, that's not what it would be. It would be 1 would be nothing.
We should have
So
we should have 9 really,
that's
shouldn't we?
good.
7 to start off with in the 2. So I've got D6, 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 that's 3. And then 4 dice spread across the
Yeah.
3. So that's 4. So that's 7.
Yeah.
So that means I've got my 8 point, which we got from the first session, and
Yep.
then this one. Right,
Yep.
okay, so I need to allocate another dice somewhere. I hadn't done it
Yep.
before.
So those of you that can
gonna
advance, do, and your XP will
D8.
roll over.
Yeah. Right, okay.
We got what you got off of Lysander, and I think we're good.
Yeah.
How do you all feel
Brilliant.
about the cursed level? Do you need more time to deal with it being 2 tallies or 3 or what?
I still don't understand what these tallies are, what they do. Are
So-
these secret rules that you're making that
No,
screw
it's
us over?
in the
It's
Or...
in the book.
It's in the source book.
I'll show it to you if you're looking at the screen.
Yeah. Anytime you take an action that increases curse, that's 1 tally that the arbiter makes. And at a certain number of tallies, the curse level goes up or down. So what I'm talking, and it's every 2. So what I'm going at is, I'm starting to think that it needs to be every 3. It's not really something that
Yeah.
you guys deal with, but
Well, 0
It
to
is
2
so
is
much.
3, because it's 0, 1, 2, and then
Mhm.
level 2 is 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then 3 is 6, 7, 8. So it is every
right. So
3.
I'm talking about adding another one to it.
Okay.
But that's what I think.
It's easy to get
We
up
can
there.
Yeah, we can continue doing it this way and just seeing how it rolls.
Yeah, I think that kind of
Yep.
depends on how you want to run the game. Like if you just want to run a one shot or a few shots, then keep it fast like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But if you want to do a longer campaign, then I think extending it out would be better because things went to shit pretty quick
yeah.
once we hit level 3.
And that's the thing. You start getting into the rounds, and it goes up and down really, really fast. And then you're like,
Yes.
oh shit, we have to resolve. So bad happens.
Yeah.
Each round, I imagine, because the game, you guys haven't dealt with it too much, but the game is extremely deadly. So in my mind,
Yeah.
after like 2-3 rounds, that's a combat easily, because shit's just gonna die.
Yeah. I was worried that people might die with the fire incident. I mean, I felt like that was
Me too. That's what I was saying.
that was
Greg,
like that's kind of where it
but
was.
see, normally you're not gonna start out with Drakafir. It's just we rolled randomly, and I was like, well, I want to show the elixirs that you can have.
Mhm.
I mean, that's like dynamite or like a grenade that went off in front of everyone. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
you
just
know.
needed some black sand. I didn't want to say anything about it, but because that would be metagaming. I could have said, all we need is a little black sand, and that'll put it right out.
good. But you,
Uh,
you could have
didn't.
metagamed, and it'd been fun. All right,
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much. I know it's past time a little bit. Are you all good
Yeah.
for Monday? Next Monday?
Yeah, should be. Yeah, yeah. Same time, 7 or 2.
Mhm.
You guys. Right.
All right. Cool.
Should be
And
good.
if you have any thoughts or whatever, let me know on
Yeah.
the channel.
Will do.
And
Will do.
as we do a little bit of an outro, if you want to plug your games or your projects, go for it. John.
Later when I've got the
Miller.
start.
Not yet. Not yet.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for jumping on. And we have a whole bunch of really interesting projects that we'll tell you about. Ken, do you want to lead us out?
Yeah, Geeky Gamer podcast every week happens twice a week at this point, at random times. I mean, let's just drop the disguise. It's real. It's happening at just random times. Join our Patreon, Geeky Gamer podcast, or give us a coffee, KOFI at Dreadlore. All lowercase letters. Mr. Interrupt did some music. Couchfire Media did the visuals. And Twari Blade Productions brought us just about everything else. This has been a beta test of the game Cursed, Session 2.